We'll do finance.
That's pretty close on one when I went after debt and then they were on the
So let's do finance, and we got a little bit of monkeying with it, given what we had said
Finance is
about.
finance is on page 44, 45, and here's the salaries. What I've got in for cost of living is based on the existing contract, which says that, it basically says that I get the larger raise percentage or amount of any employee, except that it's limited to 9.45% unless the county commission decides to pay me more. So that's what's in my line. If we want to do a comparative, I'll be happy to go back there and show you what the salary survey says as far as finance. Because I've actually surveyed these before besides this, before we, what page are we on?
I'm on your contracts, and we talked about this.
So if we go into mine right here, and we can kind of, page 2 and go down, finance is the second bullet point. And I'll be happy to tell you my experience, certified public accountant in Tennessee. I have 29 years in March. All but 6 of those are finance director. 6 is actually the legislative auditor of the state, and most of you probably have not seen my resume, so. But to kind of look, the very start medium page, 170 for somebody on the top end medium, based on the ranges 212, 597, and would be next year with the contract at 193.2. So I'm above the medium, but quite a bit below the maximum salary. But it's also the contractual, unless you decide to go more, and I'm not asking for that.
So you're just asking for that contract?
Which is the 9.5. Unless you guys feel some urge, but, you know, I'm not, I see your budget, so I'm not asking you to urge. If there was money floating, then I would ask, but, next would be, and I'll be happy to tell you what all these people do, because I'm here, the person's the senior assistant to, finance director's got 10 years.
I do want to look at these folks, because we did.
Where are we on the market?
Well, let me tell you right now, the hours aren't strong in the market, and I did not ask for the 6%, I asked for the people most likely to turn over, so some of these probably are. The first one here, if you look at that one, I marked that with, Mr. Isabel's person that only has 2 years. When we did the salary survey, they were pretty much equivalent. If we go to the survey for that one, and it won't be shown in. I'll say line 13 the first. I'm going to go down on one at a time if you want me to. Yeah, I was going down on one at a time. I just kind of made that assumption without telling you. But if you look on page, well, 2's finance, but if you look at like administrative and executive assistants are on page 3, this one would probably most likely align with what I'm looking at as an executive assistant, or would probably be what you most likely align with.
What line item is that?
It would be page 3 going down. If you look, the start pay is 63,882. The medium is 77,507. So
you're on a clerk administrative.
63. So median actual. Median actual, which one?
The top one.
So 78, 989.
Which page are you on?
I'm on page 3, line item 4.
1.
We're at line item 3. It's one of them.
CO42.
Oh, actually, yeah, sorry, I was on one off. So 77,507.
Yes, for sure.
That's one I think.
You're slightly below still on that one?
Which one am I on? I have my old sheet here that has my
Line 13 up there, too, is that we're looking at?
We're looking at line 13.
Okay.
This one, that's what I think it probably,
Are you comparing it to?
I'm sorry, I picked up the wrong. Why is there 2?
There's a,
What do you, let me see.
so you're right at the median, like right at the median.
Right.
Right, but that's the medium for, this person has 10 years of experience.
So that's a median. Okay, so we're.
So they should be probably slightly above the median, so that is probably slightly below.
You're a little low.
Well, that's the 2003 number too, and this is 2025, so it's probably a little low what I asked for. If we, honestly, if we could consider maybe instead of that 3320, maybe 3,500 or 4. Because I think I actually remarked that.
What, this, without, I'm not asking for the description of the job, but what's their, qualifications, have a degree?
Right now, they're working on their associate, and their long term is to get the bachelor's degree, and this is going to require a bachelor's degree going forward. after they get it. And most of them out there, I'll tell you which ones do require degrees currently, all the way to up to a doctorate. Some of that.
I mean, we're talking small amounts here, so I'm gonna get the body will keep it here, and we're going up to 4,000 anyway. Not that much.
And comparing of the internal ones, this one makes lower than a lot of the internal ones on the same position.
What was your recommendation?
I would like to change that,
4,000.
right, just about four.
We're not talking about one.
That's fine. Yeah, that's.
Chairman, in the long and short of it, you know, not because I had something to do at the time that David was hired, but, the finance director can even make or break accounting. Yet I've seen it over and over again. David is an efficient and sharp administrator. His staff, as he hires it, as manages it well. Personally, I don't have any problem because I think in the long run, we're gonna come out on top.
It's our most important function as well, is the money. If we don't have a good team to manage it.
If we can reflect that yesterday's discussion about trying to get our base stronger, finance, as we have people rolling off in the next several years.
So, we're going down to this, going down, I don't disagree, I'm fine with this. So going down to the next one, I just got to press a little bit, that's a big bump.
Let me tell you my
Is
reason.
it not worth it? Just,
Let me tell you where that number came from. Couple of things played into that one. If you look at the medium pay, it's 102,066. The top's 139,271. Okay, page number 2, the second employee down. That's the number one factor. This one, the number two factor, our private act requires a minimum of a bachelor's degree for our assistants, which is not required in several of the counties. If you actually click on that yellow line, I called the most two comparable counties, and one of them's like a 10-year employee, and the other one's a whatever year employee. They were making 133,577 last year, and 112,025. So, this employee's 18 years here and had another 10 years experience when they came in. That's why I came up with that particular number. And that's just my calculations. You guys don't necessarily have to agree.
How is it that person with that experience and the comps, how they?
We've gotten off on time on some employees, just like the ones you seen down at the judge's office for the magistrates. The county assistant county attorney. There were several, when we did the salary survey the other year, this employee was quite a bit off and adjusted, but we limited the adjustments quite a bit.
I see your rationale.
But I mean,
You're talking about somebody who's got 30 years experience, so median for that type of role is, what page are you on? This one, there's something,
139,271. Now, if you go to the far right, this is another one for internal consistency that I looked at, and this is what drove it more. Going to that. And I'll tell you what, this is how much currently, go back over this. That's currently how much you have on the county engineer. At the last salary survey, this employee and the county engineer are on the same exact level. And the county engineer has 2 years and this one has 17. And he hired them in that way.
What I was going to compare it to was the assistant to the waterman, which we're at 115 on that one. Now that person does not have as much overall experience, so that's.
Could we look,
I don't think they're comparable because I, with all due respect to the assistant law director, he's got one job, and that's legal. But the assistant finance has got all kinds of jobs and all kinds of hats.
Or she.
it's a she. I have one other he in the whole office. And it was between a he and a she, and the he barely beat out the she, and that rarely happens.
What are all the hats she wears?
She does a lot of the management things when I'm out there, fills in when I'm out there, does a lot of the accounting standards, pretty much fills in for a lot of this stuff and assists with 57,000 projects that I pass down that I don't have enough time where I can handle even more complex. If it's something that's not so complex that I feel nobody else would understand, it gets passed down to where I can do those.
Okay, so she's your right-hand gal.
So because we know you guys have to meet a budget, and I'm realistic. can we just make that right, make that 20 and then reevaluate next year?
I would like to do that. I would like to bring that down. And I'm not saying, trying to be, saying a similar thing to what I said, Mr. Paul, not this person is not worth it. Just trying to, can't fix everything all at once.
The next one, when I looked at, I thought it was within market, so I did not ask for any funds over the 5%. The next one is the senior analyst for the office, required a bachelor's degree, actually does the munis administrations, doing fixed assets, does a lot of work on the long-term planning, and does some of the work on the revenue sheets that I have them analyzed. That one's position, when I pulled the markets about to start paying for that particular position. This one, we actually, because I couldn't find a lot of comparables, I actually pulled it from the private sector somewhat. And that's about probably 10% to 15% below the private sector scale, so.
I mean, that doesn't seem crazy.
And the employee had experience when they got here.
I want to look at this one. I'm probably for this one because as you
Before you jump out of that, you compared that with the private sector. This is curiosity more than
I just got it 15% because of benefits.
That's what I was going to ask. You know me.
I'm probably for this, but I've got a question. It's a lead question.
I don't have the same thought as you if it's not government, but there may be some disparity.
So on this one, has this person picked up some roles because of
This is two things.
let go of the HR department?
That's one that picked up some, but here's what this particular position does. It does several things. This is the one that does your Chronos implementation. This is the payroll manager. This one also has a 4-year degree, been here for several years, and is managing the payroll department, which has your benefits, as a benefit clerk, there's benefits. We have a payroll clerk, a enrollment clerk,
This person.
and I have a payroll person besides them, and they do,
This person does have a very, very unpleasant.
oh, they're already working on it. They did libraries this month, they're working on them, and we did magistrates 2 weeks before. And this person also just did the implementation for the ERP Munis payroll system last year.
They're almost working as a junior director. I mean, they've got like 4 or 5 directors.
Well,
They're number 3. It's me, Beth, and then number 3. So when we're both gone, they're the next manager, because we have a management structure. And then after that, we have a number 4 manager, there's none managed at all.
Here on our,
That would probably be one that we compare.
It's probably like a junior level of assistant of the,
we've got a payroll supervisor.
There's that, but they do more than that.
That's right in the middle here, and the high would be 96.
yeah, but I'm looking at.
They're also doing the Chronos, and
How many employees does the county, do we pay?
in the county, I think we have about 800, is that correct? 800 to 1,000 at the part-time. It varies from 800, and about probably closer to like 850 to 1,000.
Yeah, we write checks for everybody.
We do direct deposit for everyone. The only way you cannot have direct deposit is somebody stolen your account or your bank can get it.
They're also taking up some role in HR, and I'm looking up.
They're doing benefits.
And they're doing benefits, I mean, benefits.
They're doing benefits for the HR.
Managers at $99,000 in HR.
Did we do increases last year?
We do Chronos. This person, no.
That's a big
I
job.
think that's a big, we're getting that much out of that person, I think that all of those jobs, I look at the senior level of it, they're all.
I'm really concerned because that's a potential turnover position if we don't do something, because they're highly trained in Chronos.
I'm honest, I know that's a
I'm
big
good
job.
with that.
Basically, I spent the time and money, your all's money, my time here. We've trained this person quite a bit of, but we don't do something, somebody's gonna take them.
We removed last year, probably $150,000 in total cost. This team has picked it up, so, I mean, I'm good with it. These.
Let's talk about the purchasing one, let's talk about that. I don't know where it's gonna go back to this person to implement, you
You're not
know.
gonna, so these people aren't gonna, I mean, we're.
Well, we have
the worker bees here.
We have a benefits clerk doing the benefits, so, but I do wanna look at the 2, accounts payable employees, because I think, you'll see them. But let me tell you about the other one, the raise there, and I'll tell you what that is and what I'm asking for. If you look here, it's like $113,000 a year for your purchasing average start. I forget where it's at, it's way down in here. Purchasing 106 to 131. This is the purchasing person. I manage the department, so I would not consider them a purchasing department. But we're also getting ready to bring over highway. So what I've done right now, I just lost my AP manager, so I'm actually moving this person to AP manager, but they're also going to be over the purchasing now because our office keeps growing and it keeps more and more.
You're combining a position at this point, just bumping it.
I'm taking this person with more duties and being in charge, and the other position they're doing, I'm gonna hire somebody else to do it, but they're gonna take more of the responsibility for it. Because right now, I'm spending too much time with purchasing issues, and I really can't get some other stuff that I need to at this point. So we really need to put it back, plus we're gonna pour over the highway purchasing, so they're going to have a 1, 2, 3, full-time, that's gonna answer to them, and 1 half-time.
And you do understand why purchasing is coming from highway, that's back to a private asset.
Yes, correct.
Plus, it's the most efficient, and no other county this size is doing it the way we're doing it right now, and that's why you're having issues. It makes it hard on Toby. Toby's just not used to it, but it's actually hard on him, too.
Yeah.
It creates him additional problems. We need to be moved, no other county this size does it this way.
And we need to, if I can step further out, we need to start, as a county, we're also not, once we get purchasing centralized more, a lot of counties have a purchasing. Sometimes they have it in financial management, and they're actually looking at purchase orders. And I just have all kinds of free time. I've read through purchasing orders and RFP. We really do need to look there because there's a lot of stuff in there that y'all would be like, wow. So once we're centralized, we need to put some controls in place because there's lots of money there.
Well, this past year, we bid a big portion of Toby's bids. Because it contained ARPA, so he just handed them all to us. We bid them. We're really smooth. The only hiccup we ran into is there's a vendor that just didn't bid, but had nothing to do with us, which caused Toby some issues. But otherwise, it went through quite smoothly on that portion. I think Toby's just nervous because it's never been done that way before. Because he's not trying to be difficult. He's just, I guess, cautious, nervous.
I want to come back to another these benefits. They're not, I mean, given what we just said about the payroll manager, so these guys aren't gonna pick up any, I mean.
Let me kind of talk to you about what we ran into, and you kind of, we have one payroll person in there. The other two are relatively new because, not to be mean, but when we had HR, I had benefit clerks turning over like, I lost more people in 1 year than I lost other 15 years in the same position, because there was so much difficulty and I had to keep getting involved. Let's put it that way, it was an issue.
We took care of that issue.
And I'm just saying right now that those people are relatively new. I think that they're pretty much based on their years of service to market.
All right.
Now, if you look at the two up there at 38, that is your AP clerks. I don't know, those right there doing the year, because they've been here for not very long. If you look at 2080 and 1050, when I hire somebody, if you give me a budget of whatever, I'm probably going to hire somebody in for $1 less if I can find anybody. And then if you're working well after 6 months, you can go.
You worried about the picture?
Yes, that's what I'm worried about.
We're all worried about these two, so.
I would, if we can, and I know your budget's limited, if we could put 500 or 1,000 on those
Well, we
things.
took some from your top level position, I'd be fine with 1,000 on each of these.
Because they're my lowest paid people, and
Helping with the financial.
they don't require as much training and stuff as the other ones, but still, if we don't stay toward a minimum wage, we're gonna lose them, I'm afraid.
We still haven't overall cut your budget from what you requested.
Well, let's go back to the benefits clerks. Are you worried about them?
Which one is that one? Is that Amy?
Yeah.
Amy is probably your most likely. She has a bachelor's degree. The problem is I have probably 60% of my employees, Beth, or 50 have bachelor's degrees, and I have one with a doctorate. So mine are quite a pretty well-trained group. And without the bachelor's degrees, it takes a lot of training and issues because they got to understand accounting and various things. Or train somebody from the ground up is really difficult. So she does have a degree, a 4-year degree, and I believe, is it finance?
Well, Terry was just pointing out that there are people on the road crew
Well, maintenance.
who it's maintenance. That are making, is it more?
We're gonna bring them up to more.
I don't wanna lose any of
I'm
your
not
good
saying-
people.
No, I mean, I asked about it too.
I know, and they don't wanna take the money.
Can we just take 1,000, can we get right on 1,000, it is a possible,
Well, what we could do is just do 500, 500, 500, 500. Do that. Would that be, or are you worried?
if I wanted, I would probably do 500, 500, 1,000 if we did it that way, because honestly, and I'm not saying anything disparaging about any of my people, but it takes more training on some than the others. They're all good people, they would not be there.
Your performance-based and role-based stuff, we did.
I thought we were, I think we were talking about putting it down there. Is that what we were talking about?
Just like this?
Like that.
Okay.
Would be, but I'm weighing on two things, the amount of time it takes to train people, replace them, and likelihood of leaving.
All right. Okay, so we need to talk about, so we need to talk about what we had mentioned earlier, which was,
Moving. Do you want to go ahead and get Key real quick and come back to that?
yeah, that's gonna be a discussion. That's gonna be a discussion.
So, let's see, Judge is on page, 49, and then we got her salary on page.
Came in and she said, okay, on this page.
She's probably already read her budget,
That's quite a bit.
841, she said.
and she's on page, and that's the salaries,
I
and
want everybody to note that Ms. McCormick, Judge McCormick is gonna be briefing us something that's a little bit different here because we're slightly late not calling out, but, that meant that we used, last year's numbers, and so there's gonna be a little bit of discrepancy in what you're presenting.
how we put CPI on it, so we do last year's CPI.
Yeah. Okay, so I own it, that I was probably getting my end. But essentially, I'm really not asking so much to put aside, and if you have future, you gotta have or over at once. One more.
And now you're here.
And now I'm here.
Woo!
Birthday? I know, right? Now I'm here playing, my birthday was 3 days ago, so real close. So now I get to play here with the cool kids. So, essentially, the only thing in my budget aside from salary, the one thing from salary perspective that I am asking for is $2,500 each for my staff. My particular staff, with staff I inherited from Judge Carter, one of them has been there since the inception of that court in 2015, and the other has been there since 2019. The $2,500 request puts them consistent with courtroom A or Division I. Essentially, as you know, we do the same job, we just divide on alphabet, and so I have the lower half of the alphabet, this one has the beginning of the alphabet.
So if I go to court, I'm coming here.
You come in here and you going down.
What, in the back?
I'm LD. Yeah. So all of you, elders, come in. Okay, so essentially, that's basically the difference in our courts, but they're identical, matters days, everything else is identical. So that was the only request. I did ask for a few small things, which I think were consistent with what was requested. Our duties and general questions went up on February 28th. We were at our conference. So our dues went up at that point. So I think I've asked for like $400 of an increase in dues for that. The other thing I asked for was software. My assistants have to share a computer because of software, so they literally, one person gets up, the other person sits down. So I just need a little bit, I've asked for $500 for software. The only other thing is one of the computer in our courtroom is extremely slow, so I've asked for $1,000 for a computer for the courtroom. It slows us down on a daily basis, waiting for something things. We have people look at it, but it's real slow. So that's essentially it. Before the $2,500, my requested amount was 5%, 5.97%.
The travel is
Yes.
300 more.
300 for travel.
Is that just gasoline?
It's conferences. Essentially, we go to 3 conferences a year, and usually, the travel, I think actually the Glenn asked for significantly more on his travel line, but I also have mental health court, and so often we are traveling to other courts for those, so basically we ask for it.
Okay.
Do you have some notes so that Leslie can consider in your budget, so that we can, your ask so that we can
apologize.
I think so, wasn't it, the only thing that's not in there is the salary?
I think
Can
apparently,
we check
last
that?
week, I think,
Yeah, just, can we just?
you guys are supposed to be last
Yeah,
week.
they're-
Yeah, those are supposed to be last week.
Jan.
I think the information that's gonna go past the Jeff Sherman on salary, these are today. It was posted in last year.
I just want to make sure that I understand that she's getting what she wants.
Yeah, that's.
It was in there.
Was it?
It was in
Okay.
there. The only thing wasn't in there was the salary.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure the salary. So after the salaries in, can we go, let's go ahead and just do it real quick so that when we're considering.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Yeah, can you add those? So you're asking for 25.
3,500 there.
Yeah, that's what I wanted
Yeah,
to
that's
do.
what I
Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you, ma'am. All right. Now, we still have to discuss that, what we want it to be.
I told
Oh,
him.
yeah.
Any questions for Judge McCormick?
He said you listed the cases, right, first name or last name?
Last name.
Yeah, that'd be your correct.
You're in there too. So, you know, and just Brandon and I both say, that we're not gonna let anybody be the villain or victim based on their last name, so we try to say consistent.
So I guess is the general substance works based on first and last name too, since.
Just last name, so, yeah.
I mean,
Pretty close, yes. Pretty close, yes.
The protocol for the new courtroom is gonna be like the old, if we come, we should sit in the jury box. So
I
we don't
would
have to,
recommend that, so people don't, so to cut down the rumor mill on.
Yeah, y'all know that.
We don't need to see.
What do you mean? We're gonna table this and bring it
I go to court, a lot of times, I go to court, and people think I'm there because, and
So several of you have visited, and we also.
Like you say, don't just sit in the general population.
Right,
No,
No,
so I always try to put you in the.
Oh, I'll go with it.
To reduce the rumor mill that.
I'll listen to you.
Matt Trent is a lawyer.
I'll take it right there.
So I would bring y'all to the jury box to try to reduce the rumor mill.
Just crazy rumors.
Certain days, I was gonna say, yeah, you can go and sit there and create rumors for sure.
Yeah,
So,
I just checking.
yeah, feel free, come on, I still got a.
Oh, now I want it, any other questions for Judge McCormick?
All right, thank you guys for all that you do.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, let's get back to finance here and, continue, questions.
We're
I
done with
find
that.
another page again.
No, what's it? Yeah, we're done.
We're back.
But I think we had a good break earlier, I think we should continue.
Yeah,
the question.
yeah.
And lots of cases.
Let's do, so what we were talking about was the project management role. The right way to do this, in my opinion, is to do the space before the space. So we said we need a type of role, and we put that type of role in there. And if that, that's the person we have now, great, otherwise, we'll figure it out. But I think that role, what we said earlier, was that there is it sounded to me like there were two roles. There's a project management role, and there is a grant writer role, and that these are separate things. Is that what I heard? I know, David, you said that. Did the group agree with this? I did not know that.
I think we could take the one person, and if it grows, we grow next year to two people with the baby.
One thing I could possibly do is we have Dustin.
Right.
Dustin right now is doing opioid, it's going to slow down. Dustin, I've been training on I've had him work on 1 or 2 projects right now. And Dustin's, we're very interested in doing and learning things. He's the one that does the opioid. He's capable because he's got a doctorate, so that's one thing I look at. He understands statistical and he does study. That's one thing that got him the job. He could do some, in addition to the opioid, some of the grant accounting and some of the stuff to pop in that direction.
He's a grant writer.
So you're saying he takes the grant, all of the grant?
No, portions, because I don't think he'll have enough time, because he's probably going to spend half.
Will he take on?
If you're doing the other, then what I think, if you're not going to put a third person, the easiest thing to do is to do what we can out of Dustin, what we can out of the other person, and then the project manager, basically, that other person does both.
So you are talking about adding a person?
Not if you're talking about moving a person, we're talking about
So what we
moving a
said is
position.
moving, current grant writer position, we're trying to do this, not say people.
What I'd recommend if we do that is we make her, say, right now she's probably 50-50, make her 75% projects, 25% grants, and then make him 50-50 with the opioid if possible. and then 50% doing grant accounting, others, and 50% opioid, at least 50, because.
For now, he would be paid for totally by the opioid grant.
Yes, well, this is the unrestricted opioid money, so you can leave it in there. The unrestricted opioid money's been given to the county for stuff they lost in the past, which that revenue could have been used for anything.
Fine with this, with one exception, and that is that opioid, when we run afoul of anything, say, the whole problem we had with other departments was that we say, hey, we're taking opioid funding, and they said, okay, that's great, I'm gonna put a person in here to do opioid stuff, but I'm actually gonna take over, and that person's gonna end up doing administrative work in the jail. We're I don't wanna be doing this.
We discussed that from the beginning if they had extra time, so that's why I'm saying the number one priority is going to have to be opioids. So if it gets up and Justin comes and say, hey, I'm not getting to concentrate on opioid, he's going back to opioids. So, and we might come back in there and rediscuss that.
I would argue that we would need to pay him partly out of county funds, and we would need to supplement, like either reduce some that's coming out of opioid, or to say, yeah, there is that much work, but we're gonna extend his work, we need to pay him some, that way we're truly paying him for the work he's doing.
Let's just say 75-25, 75% opioid, 25% county.
I think that would be.
And we spend at least 25% on county at that point, and if he ends up having issues because of timing, then we'll come back to the board.
But I think that
Either
we
way.
is helping the county, to say why I went along with this, is he is helping opioid at the same time he's helping county. Because when he's over here in the veterans office, he's helping both opiate problems, drug problems, and our veterans.
No,
And so when he helps, he's listing it all.
I understand, I totally get it.
I just wanted
From like an auditor point of view, you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah, well, I just want to let you know why I went along with this 6 months ago, or 8 months ago, and said like 100%, because I could see the list all over the place.
I think it's through 75-25, so what we'll do is we will come up with whatever his salary is, and then we're gonna need to layer that in.
It's down here, and we can show you right now.
And then we're gonna have to eat that from the county's point.
And that's something we didn't mention earlier. I did ask to pay him $15.59 more in addition, but it is because he has a CCFO, and I pay people to get that. What a CCFO is, it's a certification for accounting from the state that you can get, and if somebody's got those in the past, I've always paid them $1,500.
So right here, we need to pay him probably $23,000 out of that.
That's a CCFO, but we'll just make a note, we'll do the split later, because it's gonna be hard to do.
Oh, okay, I get you.
Because right now it folds into a project, and we'll have to do.
And then we're gonna need to add a line for, grant writer, North Fleet, and then liner in the year, right?
Right in liner, out of
Now,
here.
is she going to report to him?
I would say
She
no.
report to her?
I would say she'd probably end up reporting to him if we're gonna do it that way.
It's up to you, it's your work, we're doing something new.
Probably what I'm gonna do, since we're gonna be working grants together, I'll probably have her reporting to him,
Okay.
because he's actually got a doctorate.
All right.
And somebody,
These people are gonna take care of maintenance, facilities, and all that kind of stuff?
No,
What do you mean?
well, that's.
Is that what we're talking about?
No.
well, I mean, basically what we're talking about is like the grants, and then when
I don't understand that.
there's a project coming in, somebody needs to account for those grants and be able to report back where we're at.
There is the project, we're talking about the project management, I'm not talking about the maintenance stuff, I'm talking about the project management function, like, there's a building, we're bringing a building on board, or we're doing a new roof.
That's what she's doing right now.
Them doing that?
Yes, this role is gonna be part-time doing that. Because we're taking off some of the ideas, we're taking off some of her grant writing.
But what engineering or?
No, let's just put a new person.
Well, they're not engineering, they're not saying.
Yeah, I know that.
Project management.
That's what I'm saying. We need to have somebody with that knowledge.
But you can be a project manager without being an engineer.
Depends on the consultants you hire. I just.
I mean, yeah, you got this general project manager, project manager, they're sharp. You can project manage in the technical world and then come over and do a roof. I mean, I realize there's some learning curve, but
It's a big learning.
The big thing we run into right now is
yeah.
one thing we have to think about, if it's a large project, the way it's supposed to work.
Manage costs.
And that's why the laws are that way. Large projects is the county. You're required to hire an architect or engineer. The architect and engineer are supposed to design it and work up cost estimate according, and the design. The architect and engineer is supposed to sign off the work was done. The final acceptance is the thing I've got a question about. The architect's gonna accept it to that specs, but I've never been clear who in the county's gonna accept the building.
And for big
Is it gonna be, because it's really gonna have to be probably the mayor saying that building's fine.
And for big stuff though, and that's why there is an argument that belongs, just like this was hard, there is an argument that belongs to the county mayor too. I don't think it makes sense to me, my opinion is, and I think Josh Sutton is one of the most competent people you'll ever meet. I do not think that this ever belongs in his office, it either belongs in the county mayor or belongs in finance. He chose to go to finance, that's fine.
What I'm saying is the architect or engineer will sign off the building meets the specs that we designed and stuff, but ultimately he's gonna have to say, I agree with that architect needs to be the mayor in some form or fashion. He's the custodian, the daily custodian of the buildings and stuff. So in other words, just think about the way it should work.
There's no perfect solution here.
Most of the finance is fine on it, because here's where you're gonna end up with. You guys decide you want a building that runs through Gen Ops, mayor, whoever designs it comes up with specs, correct? We go out and hire an architect or engineer, which is required by statute anyway. Based on what you request, the architect or engineer designs those and returns those designs. From those designs, it is bid, a sealed bid. The sealed bid comes back. Before we make payment, what our people upstairs require anyway is they sign the architectural report where he signs the work being done.
I get it, and I don't want to go too much, but I realize we are starting to micromanage here. I just want to make sure we're doing a bit of a move. I just want to make sure that Ms. Northfleet knows that the scope of her responsibility is going to truly be more heavy on the project management side. And really, you made this comment, right? Like, if she's really going to be running a lot of your subs, like a lot of your contractors and your consultants and that type of people, they should be reporting into her. She should be providing consolidated reports to your department and us. And you. And that's what we're trying to get at here. We just want to make it very, very clear that this org change is grant writing. It is a little mini PMO that's going to sit under finance. It's weird, but we're trying to figure one out.
Well, in the big projects, you have to hire.
You have to.
But you have to hire somebody else.
An architect or an engineer.
She's going to be running.
Yeah, they would answer to her.
Yeah, every week, she takes a weekly report, and then she would give that to us in a month, or QBR type.
Right.
So, okay.
I'd like to make a suggestion that we add this month to Jeremy's legislative committee. I think it would be appropriate that we recognize this position to be one of liaison with general operations. I do not want this to get outside the control of this commission, and that we make it plain that this is a liaison position to general operations, who will have final disposition on matters, decisions and matters.
I mean, to me, it should be his chief briefer, is who.
Well, I think we all agree with that.
I think
It's
if
just,
Jeremy writes up something, he can,
Yeah.
We can, keep it where it needs.
it's just that we need it to fall under a permanent org. So it's either one of these two.
Here's the only one piece you got left is, we'll have the architect signing off on the final as acceptance on the big buildings. Whoever, when Ms. Northfleet reports back, say to Gen Ops, she'll bring the architectural report we're getting ready to pay, for instance. Is somebody from Gen Ops, mayor, or who's gonna go out and look at the actual building and say, hey, I'm in agreement with that architect? Who's gonna do that, or do we just want Ms. Northfleet to do that and then come back to Gen Ops and say, hey, I agree with what this architect says? Even though the architect is signing off and everything, we still probably want a county representative to look at the physical product.
I'll be happy to do it, but I think the mayor should as well. It's a good,
We're getting into some weeds.
That's the only thing, is there needs to be a sign off.
So let's,
We are. We're never gonna go back to budget.
But a little bit further on this, right now in planning, we have the grant administrator at 92.3. I'm saying salary, he's moving us along to where.
Yeah, they're gonna rework that because we're gonna do 1/4 from the county, but most of that's all coming from the opioid grant.
No, I mean,
wait.
We'll move the position.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, are we
Where
gonna-
is that in market? It's gonna be, where is that in market? What's that?
A6.
We're looking in the,
I mean, we're looking for a project management type.
You need another sheet?
No, right now we're at
Well,
grant administrator.
well, right, but what we're saying is this is a part-time project manager, oh, it's 50/50. So if we can,
She's been here for a while, so let's see where it falls at: risk, revenue, accounting, payroll, senior, accountant, she does have a master's degree at MBA.
and there's a senior staff engineer, which is kind of sort of, I don't see it true project management. The closest, I see a senior staff engineer, which is median is 99,000. That's one that appears to be close to me, or close to you. I don't see it through project management. Are we good with that one, using the senior engineer? He's not an engineer, but it's kind of close. So that's 99,000 is the median.
She's been here probably about, almost 14, she's been here a while.
So right now, she's at 83,000, and we're bumping her up to 92 under schedule.
That's probably,
Maybe we just bring her over.
yeah, maybe we'll do that. Let's just bring her over. We'll do what's asked, but bring her over. Because she's not exactly an engineer either, so.
No,
And she's 50/50 project management and part grant writing tends to be cheaper.
Right.
So, I think that's about right.
I think that's fair.
When we bring her over. Okay, yeah. Okay.
The other thing that I mentioned earlier, and haven't mentioned it again, do you guys want to look, we're trying to use this in the 2020 survey, do you want to get an actual survey done to see where we're at?
I'd say it's 19.
And I don't know the amount I put that amount up there for the coronas, but we could add another line and stick in, since you're updating one and you're just wanting it for kind of these purposes, it's probably not gonna be, I'm guessing, maybe $20,000, because we already done one 2 years ago. It cost, what at the time, 50, is that about right? But we done a bunch of job descriptions too, which we emailed to Mr. Boyd.
Are we,
Who are we on now?
We emailed those two.
so are we closed out,
What do you wanna do, the question was, do you wanna do a salary survey or not?
how much was it?
It costs us $50 to do all of the actual salary survey in 22 and job
I feel like
descriptions.
this has been a very good blueprint, because we're not gonna always do a market reset. We did a market reset this year, from this point going forward, we should just be able to do COLA.
I don't
Maybe
know,
not
that's all
forever.
I've heard, for every 2 months, there's been a new department back saying they need a market reset.
Well, but we never did it. We did, the first time we did it was, we've never done a market reset. We did it with the sheriff, but that was midway through. Now we're doing a true market reset. Like, this commission has never done one.
What kind of time does it take, David?
I don't know, since we're not doing a whole new survey, I'll just contact them and ask them, and, what we'll have to do is we'll just send them our salary files, and they'll probably send out an email to everybody asking for changes in the
I'm against doing that.
department or changes in the.
Here's the thing, this budget doesn't have to be finished till August. You've got plenty of time to get us a number.
We'll contact them and get them in the budget. I don't know they'll get done that quick.
So I think, do we need to take a vote on it? Who's
I don't know if we're gonna get that quick.
I'm just finding out what it'll cost and what kind of.
All right, then that's, we'll go. So now,
I'll make a note to email Beth, Thompson, because she's the one they're the one that did our salary survey, they're the one that done all this here.
all right. So, what do we want to pick up next? I think we drained this one out. So, we want to do planning and engineering?
Yes.
Let's do planning and engineering.
No.
38.
I'm not for adding any new positions.
Page 38.
New position.
I'm not to planning, and I mean, they've asked for several,
They got seasonal last.
they did, and they've asked for several positions, didn't use them, and switched it around to create huge salary bump increases, and so I'm good with just 5% COLA. I think if we can
Of
stay.
all the departments last year, that we really able to go through this, I agree.
And then we switch things around.
Did you increase the fees as well?
Yeah,
Yes.
so I think, I'm
I
giving
didn't vote for that
5% COLA on this one. And if you look at his market, he's at or above market in most places. Love Josh, but I mean, I've gotta apply the right blueprint here.
Yeah, I say 5% was new,
I agree. Anybody?
but not the new position.
Yep, I agree. Cut the new positions. Jerry,
I was just making sure I understood, that I was catching them off, so.
no, listen, I mean, I don't want two of us to, just because we agree to dictate the whole thing. I know
You mean because I didn't speak?
All right,
Dictator.
so how much did we save on that? $700,000, I think.
So I just wanted to.
Now, the grant administrators one we're moving, that's why, and then also, it didn't get the bump last year neither. He bumped everybody but that one.
Yeah, I agree.
The grant administrator wasn't bumped last year. He bumped everybody else in that, I don't know. Have to ask Josh.
We just looked, I mean, she's at,
Yeah.
she would take care, we're not taking care of him, we take care of her.
And then the assistant county planner position, I can't remember.
That's the new you added.
You just hired me, that you know, you hired them at a lower rate than we was. But that was basically
The only thing that I think we may want to ask Josh, he may hire people in lower, saying 6 months, they get well, maybe back to budget. You may want to ask him that before we do. Is that something fine to ask him?
Well, yeah, please ask me that. He'll come back, he'll come back.
If they have promised a possible 6 month raise.
So, we agree this one? Does he have any capital?
No, but do you want to look at his operational? And it's on page number.
He didn't ask for it, I say he didn't ask for it.
Which one?
If we get CYA policy.
Okay.
It's on top of all.
Lord, I'm losing my mind, or I'm losing my thought.
There you go.
We're on page 38 probably.
I'm just looking.
We still pay them?
Yeah, they're gonna look at the operational on it.
Go down.
The operational cost.
Wait, what's that? That's not a big deal.
Oh, it's sure.
This is, what's up with that?
That is your MS4 where they go out and they pay somebody to look at the stream and the runoff. They're required to do it.
39.
And he mentioned something that it was going up and they had to do more of it to make sure they stay in compliance with that TDEC fee, but they outsourced that.
Can we just ask him about it? I won't cut it.
Yeah. Do you want to make it, like, Jess, can you make a note to send him an email for additional details? Send us additional details.
Well, John, you gave me some information on that. You won't let me forget, was it, IT, who was it that, we suggested cut back to 3?
Oh, that's on the, Windows program.
Okay.
We won't need to do that till next week.
Okay, got it. Go ahead. Is there anything else? I don't see anything else on this one. No, there's no election, those small things. Okay. We did agree this one? All right, let's agree this one. What do we want to do next?
We didn't look at operational for county.
Oh, yeah, let's finish that.
But we do need to remember the mayor has the brand new large courthouse down there. So he's gonna have some big boots there and
How are we gonna pay for that?
most of it's over 112 though. I think we've been at 112 there, didn't we, John? Most of your big increases is over 112.
Yeah, it was all,
Is 112. So it's 112, we'll need to look at it too, but it's way
I
up.
think the only thing that really went up is utilities and those associated costs.
And those are maintenance agreements, because we had to rebid all those. I'm sorry, it's on page number,
Natural gas.
his maintenance agreements, it's right here, county, it's under mayor. He is on page number 40. And you've already looked at his salary stuff. I think
So we talked about, again, the electricity, that we were gonna push it out to the actual departments?
You did jail last year, I know that some are still in here.
Yeah, so can we pull those, can we just make a note to move those around?
Yes, we'll try to, can you have, not today, Beth, but can you just send one to, AP and see if they can just gather up those by location?
And then physically, can we talk about electricity, unless the mayor just enjoys doing the electric bill? I don't understand why the electric bill doesn't go to AP clerks.
Generally, you want some kind of sign off, somebody making sure there's not variances. Back when we were doing it, back at Green, years ago, it did directly go to finance, and we watched for that stuff, that basically they just told us to just go ahead and approve unless there was something weird going on. But
Well, that's between.
it's just what's been done forever, it's just what's been done forever.
You don't mind if I take work out of your office, do you?
Well, other than coding,
I just like
but it would create a lot of stuff, I mean.
I think it's great.
I mean, it seems what AP should do.
Well, we're trying to think, would it really create a lot of work for us other than that little bit of coding? We just keep the pre-assigned sheet.
I mean, I just.
We'll
find it
see,
odd.
if John's fine with it, we'll look at it.
Yeah, let's leave this one.
Can we try to maybe look at that with John? Maybe we can look at the mayor's office next year, like this.
I'm just curious, because it was a big jump, it was like a jump last year on disposal fees. Went from $317, $789 to like $23.
That's what we pay for these garbage sheets.
Last year, a lot of these were paid out of $112.
We moved them over here.
This year, almost $4,000 jail maintenance is paid out of $112.
Right, because the thing was, there was the big question about the courthouse and jail maintenance fund. It has a dedicated fee and some you can use for any buildings. Well, I think the committee and the mayor determined probably best is to pay courthouse and jail out of courthouse and jail and everything else out of general, so that's why there's this big jump and a lot of stuff last year.
You decided that last year.
Yeah, it was last year, that's why there's all these big jumps. And the mayor concurred, he thought that was probably the best thing too, was what he told me.
All right, are we good on this one? Okay, we can green this one. Let's see here.
You need to look at 112 fund really quick if you're fine with it.
Okay, that's fine.
And we can prove it out. It's balanced, looking good. It's where he pays for all the courthouse and jail maintenance. It's much larger, but there's that brand new large courthouse that's definitely going to kick up his costs.
So anything that says 112
We'll get a better handle.
No, it's gone out of here now. That's old
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean,
It's up here on this whole fund now.
It kind of is what it is.
That probably needs to be pulled out. That's an old account, John. We don't do that anymore. That data processing, we just need to remove it.
That's not so.
Yeah.
Is there any way of breaking out, for us, or at least me, I'd like to know, the cost of electricity, water, of utilities for that courthouse?
Yeah.
And,
We code by
other
location.
kind of extra expense it would have. I would love to have that breakdown.
We code, and you can't see it on our financials unless we print it that way, and you can't see it here, but we code all utilities and as many costs as we can by individual location. So we have it by department, by location. So like even if it was an EMS station out there, it has a location assigned to it, and we code them in. So anytime you want somebody to send an email or let Miss Jessica know, we can print your report by location and it'll show that kind of detail.
Back to electricity, because I'd forgotten a while back, I looked at electricity, and we had electricity bill from the building, children or people building.
That's what I brought up.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering overall, who's watching the electric bill? We have a lot of buildings out there that nobody sits in, and I don't want a window open and the heat on. I just want to make sure somebody does.
If we
Somebody sits
We own that, it was a nonprofit using, but we own the building.
We did.
Our people knows if a new building pops up, they would be watching for it, and so
Yeah,
does
but
John's
who does?
people. Well, his people watch it, and it gets watched by ours too, so it really gets, that's one thing, if you take it not going through the mayor's office, it won't be looked at twice. That's what's really going on right now, so you really have a lot of checks on a lot of this stuff. You know, as you're saying, it may be more efficient, but you are gonna remove a few checks and balances doing that. Because his folks look for new stuff coming in and variances, our folks look for stuff coming in and variances, so it kind of doubles up to make sure there's nothing.
And the only reason that I'm even talking about it is because I saw the electric bill at the nonprofit, if the children or people do, and there was nobody there. And then I know we forgot to pay the electric bill once.
So that was,
But just a mistake.
they were switching, they didn't
Yeah,
send it
yeah,
to
it was just a mistake.
and we inquired on why we forgot, yeah.
That's the only reason I was asking about.
But we sent an inquiry back to them, and that why I wasn't paid.
Are we good on this?
Yeah,
Jail.
So we agree. So let's do, so we just did planning. Let's do building and codes.
Now, building and codes, the first thing we need to discuss, do you want me to go ahead and put in the revenue that will be captured by changing from the 4 to 6? It's about probably about, let's just,
yes.
if you think you're really going up 50%, but it doesn't, some things aren't, because I've asked Marshall this morning, some things like pools under a certain dollar level won't be captured. So I think you're safe bet to put 130%.
Give it a haircut.
30%, 30% increase. So if we go to my revenue projections for next year and make it 130%, and then make a big note, because I'll freak out when I see it later. I'll put it out of place, and I'll be like, even before I look, not there, but on the actual budget there. Yeah, don't leave the link, just change it on the actual budget and make a note. These are linked back to revenue sheets, that's why if it's got a broken link, it'll catch my attention.
So you're gonna go look at the formula to see if we're at the right spot?
The 130,
We know we're
the
at the
130 is
right spot.
stupid and conservative. So what I'm saying is,
What are the others doing? How many other counties?
that percentage or higher.
Or higher?
We're
That's what
still like,
I mean, are we high
High
enough?
1.3.
Let me say it, are we high enough?
we might not be.
That's where I'm at.
Yes, times 1.3.
You see, that's where I'm at. Are we
I
high enough?
wouldn't go any higher because you're going from a 4 to a 6, so a lot of stuff that's a 50% increase.
We talked about doing an ad hoc.
Be conservative, let's do 130 just to be.
I'd like to know, like, this is a piece of a three-piece calculation. So what is this making a difference? If
It makes a difference on everything.
$100 difference, if I come in, it's 100,
It
it's
makes-
1,000, it's 10, I have no idea.
It makes everything 50% but more except for pools, so. And Marshall, if you go to Marshall, I'll send you the fee structure, or we can have, we may even have it back in our revenue sheet, but I don't know if we want to go into the
No,
time.
maybe some other time, but I'm just saying.
That link revenue sheet will have those calculations over there, but I don't know if we want to go that far back right now.
All right, so we came to this, now let's go to their personnel.
Jimmy, tell you what Marshall's,
Yeah, I think do the same thing, just get a market check on all these guys.
and Marshall's been here for how many years, about 10? Okay. Seems like you just came the other day, I've been here for quite a while. 14. Got white hair? I didn't have white hair when I started, I'm 36.
You should look at my hair from 6 years ago.
I found him earlier, I've lost him,
Look at my hair from 6 years ago. How did you do that?
engineering, page 7, page 7. No, I think that was that far back. Okay, I was thinking toward the beginning.
I thought building and codes, y'all did promise me more time, didn't y'all? Like yesterday, y'all did promise me more time on building and codes. I'm almost positive y'all did.
By the time I find this sheet here, you'll be having all the time you need. It's right on my
Questions, I tell you no lies.
I know, tell me no lies, it's all.
Codes. Just call it codes is why we're not finding it. The codes director, the start pay, the median start pay is on page number 3 at the bottom, the first number under the dark blue line. The start pay median is 108,566. The maximum is 141,181, so he should be somewhere probably north of 108.
He's at 118.
Because, you're looking around the 10-year mark, plus it's a year old, so.
What line is here?
Line, the first dark blue line at the bottom.
What year is he?
He's a 10-year, so he should be somewhere north of 108,566.
All right, so I think you could probably drop that to 10,000.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, still be in there.
Yes.
They have your combination inspectors. They have your combination inspectors is what those mostly would be. Their median for, the first, say, 10 years is somewhere around 61.5.
So they're,
How many has he got?
So you should be around somewhere below 10 years.
Oh, he's asking, he's got 2
He wants 2 more.
I'm looking at these guys are pretty, a little high maybe even, but at least close to in line. I mean, I think we could probably give a little haircut there. That one, that one's probably 2,500. This guy is probably 5,000. That gets him to about 63. That's about right. I'm comparing him to a combination inspector. And I mean, this is all. I mean, these are all like he just got here. These guys have been here a little longer. I think that's 2,500.
Where's that, the first one, that building code inspector one, is that at market or is it above?
Yeah, I mean, right now they're above. I'm laying down to get it to market. I'm reducing the amount next year.
About 108.
So
61.5.
yeah, and then that one is, those are 5,000 each. I think this is gonna be closer.
Now, the next one after that one,
I want to check this again one more time. I mean, he's right on there. He's a little, this is much closer.
now the one at 75 is actually, if you guys got deputy building commissioner.
Is that the one who was here with him yesterday?
Yeah, it starts 81.
He's a little high. Bring that one back up again.
That one's 81.4. How long's he been here? 9 years.
That's about right. Bring him to this. That's about right. So, I mean,
How much is that?
I can't remember what he said in the new position. I really called.
One of them, he's not doing all the inspections he feels are necessary for your, what's it called, auxiliary structures? Auxiliary structures.
What is the difference in
Accessory structures.
from increasing that formula, the NBA formula? What's that?
Let's go back over there, I can give you a guess.
Well, I don't know, I have
So let's look.
it's not $100,000.
Click back over on the revenues, Bethany, if you don't care. We can kind of guess what we can have. So that's 130%. So if we divide that by 1.3, it'll bring us.
That's your estimate for next year?
1,274,806 divided by 1.3. The original was 980. I had in there 986.20, and what is it? Minus 1,274.
That's your projected.
806. You picked up about $294,000.
So, I mean, let's pick up one.
I'm okay with one.
Let's pick up one. Pick up one.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, that one's easy out.
I think I'd still like to go back to Marshall and see what we're giving them. Because you said electrical.
I mean,
No, you're not doing electrical. It's a whole new thing.
It's a whole, it was.
You would have
about
fees and
building
people.
person. No.
What about electrical?
What about the
Actually, we got more about this fee. We need more people. We need several people, and there's all big fee. Yeah.
No.
The only thing I can say is there's complaints about how long it takes you to get electrical right now. So the county, you can probably get it
where
quicker.
the other admins are, honestly,
And for probably the same price.
right? I mean, that's close to where.
That's the only problem with it, quicker, but.
I mean, we've been there for, a quick amount of time.
Marshall didn't have a problem about how long it takes.
I'm trying to be internally consistent. I mean, you might go to 8,000. I think we had his at like, we might turn that to 8,000. But it's
I think
close.
it's loud.
I know it's big, but
It's a big thing. It's hard to get out there.
Well, I mean,
we're trying to be internally consistent and consistent in the market.
right now, we're coming.
Which one are we on?
This admin assistant. So that one right there, this is, he or she's at almost 64. I think we got John's up to 61. I know that these are not perfect, exact like for like, but we're trying to be internally consistent. She's at 57.
We need to come back then.
She hasn't been here as long, nearly as long, though.
The ideal thing would be for all the admin shops from one
Yeah,
file together.
she's the one that moved.
Yeah, across everything. That would be ideal.
That was the one that moved.
You can't compare That's my opinion.
I know it's your opinion, but when you go to look at them, you might see that the one that you think is doing a lot more is getting paid a lot less.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's.
they're not apples to apples, but you'll see where the oranges pop out.
I think,
If you like, if you look at them.
I think that one can come down to 2,018, like 7,500, honestly.
Yeah.
The other one looks probably about right. That looks about one that, it's just another 51, it's another median start 51.6, they're 51.627, it's like real close. For somebody who's, just started. Pretty close. Okay, do we want to get, what about this position right here?
It's a new position.
What is AFT?
Yeah, what is AFT? Anybody know?
Adequate facilities tax, he's saying he needs help with the adequate facilities tax of the cities and put it all over here.
That's right.
Make sure it's being paid properly.
I believe that one.
Well, we're starting to capture
Yeah, we're
money.
starting to capture.
With that's going towards.
This is probably a net benefit.
Yeah, well,
We just can't charge it to the fee though.
No, I get it, but I'm just saying that work is work that's going to generate.
That's his $44,000.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I'm good with that position.
Yeah.
I'll go good.
All right, so anybody have a nay on this one? And we're clear on what this is. So cities are not, we have discovered that cities are not charging all the sales tax, and we're like, oh, okay, so we need to get that, and they're like, well, you guys need to figure it out, thus this position.
Right.
So they're gonna go hunting for us new revenue, and that new revenue would be on the order.
We'll also be able to hopefully, I hope there are people who build things and they write them down as a renovation when it's a new construction and line about it to avoid paying the adequate.
I can sell houses
in some of our cities.
Yeah, no, I mean, but this is, look, nobody owns that, and it's good.
But my point is, people, they're lying about the permits they're pulling.
Yeah, I'm good.
If I'm not mistaken, and you can ask Marshall, about 3 years ago, they caught a couple of hotels that we built here not paying adequate facilities tax. We went back and recaptured, which was a lot of money. And, but they do have
A lot of homes is that means.
they do have a audit procedure up in the office, but I think he's wanting to
We
expand.
want to go to operational costs on this one, I know, I'm just trying to hop along here.
For, building and code.
Yeah. What's that, 24,000? Just call. Let's just scroll down and see what numbers come out of this. Nothing big. Small thing.
How their maintenance agreements go up so much? You know how their maintenance agreements?
Furniture and fixtures.
Is that 112? Is that what they become? I'm a building code.
I want to get through this one.
Never mind. Like you said.
I just took a break.
Hey, do we
I
want to
could
get
take
through
a
this
mental break.
and do we want to get through this and take a 5-minute break, or we want to keep pushing?
I probably think you need to take a break.
Let's try, let's get through this, let's get a little bit of I don't see anything that jumps out at me on this, that I could like. Looks like a lot of new furniture, this is building codes.
That might be because of new staff, if that's what if he's banking on having new staff, that might be what that's for.
Was it furniture or your problem? And we could ask Marshall.
$3,500.
That's probably what that's for, that he's banking on all that staff.
Which one? What are you talking about?
Furniture and staff.
That's probably what all those increases are.
What's going to come down is we're only doing like 2 million.
No, we're doing a little bit, we're doing 2.
Yes, versus 3. We'll just increase the revenue by $300,000 in that apartment. Are we done?
I think what it
We're done on this one. Bring this one 5-minute break. You grab it.
Let me get your
This kind of stupid stuff goes on there.
All right, what do we want to pick off now?
Should we go ahead and do like,
County commission's easy.
Yeah, let's do
Yeah, let's
county commission.
Mr. Hyde asked us because Mr. Hyde was the one for county commission, you asked us to go ahead and put your budget in for county commission this year.
Yeah, I think that would be good. Put in about, $75,000.
Well, I mean, yeah, we go down there again. We contacted Mr. Hyde and he wanted us to go ahead and work up the numbers for county commission, but you guys need to look at it closely because, Mr. Hyde's your chairman, the one presenting, but we worked up the numbers of what we thought based on your, spending patterns. You may want to look at this a little closer.
So yesterday, we talked about the chamber equipment, buttons that work, mics that work, audio that people could see, a USB where citizens that want to come in and show us something that
It's
works.
on the very, toward the beginning.
And we said we would put it in the 2020 budget.
Commission.
I mean, unless, we all voted we wanted to improve that.
we do?
We do. So is this the one where it doesn't show the vote until, like, after?
Everybody casts a vote, and then nobody sees.
Actually, I suspect that the system we have would do that if some parameters. There's a setting in it.
There's a setting that it'll say
Needs to vote until.
Yeah.
Till everybody's voted.
Until everybody's voted, so you can't see who's all voting.
You can't break sunshine, that's what happens. I'm not saying nobody would, I mean, nobody thinks it would,
No.
nobody would.
Vote your conscience,
You know,
rather.
when we talk about with internal controls, we don't want to tempt anybody.
Microphones break.
We agreed, bottom line, we agreed to.
Hey, better.
So it's just a matter of cost. We have two systems in there. We have the video. I really don't know where the video is maintained in the main chamber.
I heard it.
It's somewhere.
It's, Netherlands.
Netherlands?
Because we have
There may be a problem. I mean, there's no need to get in the weeds. There may be a problem with our old videos, but they could be a problem any day. So we have two systems. We have the video, and then we have the voting. And that's what we have going on right now. And the subscription fee, best I can tell, if we were to change, it'd be about the same, but we got equipment or, we got some logistics to work out. But something needs to be looked into.
So.
I think you gotta change the audio.
We're good on this one.
We got a new amp.
How much would we put?
They changed.
I have no idea.
Those amps, they finally come in, or they still, the new amp is there, they do them. You know, our problem, and I've talked to Carolyn a lot about this, is the microphones just don't pick up, and if you turn them too high, it creates feedback through its own speaker. So she's gotten prices on extended goosenecks. They're like $200 a pop. And, but if you built a little pedestal, which Matt was using the pedestal, that's as high as we can go.
No,
It helps a little bit, but
I just speak softly.
well, and that's the thing, is you just gotta know how to play a mic and speak loudly in it. And it's hard when we're trying to be respectful and stand up, and we're that far away from it.
What about the units you wear? What about those? No, I mean like the wireless units you wear.
He's
Like the wireless units you wear, it's like they're loud, so that gives everybody. You talk about the portable units you wear, they would get rid of the echo, but they're
I've seen other
expensive.
counties with mics that
Well,
are
I
picking up.
mean, lavaliers.
You can take those out.
Type.
Yeah, those payroll thing, and I can have that. We're down here, we're getting the weeds, but you know, what about, I think you had the ones right here.
What's the number at?
So here's the thing, I think that the hardware in there, when they got it in 2018, and it's been a minute since I looked at the number.
It's like 100,000.
Yeah, it was 100,000. The equipment, and this is the button pushing and stuff, not the.
Can I make some calls and we can?
Yeah.
We need a number though here. So
What was you guys wanting exactly,
let's put a number in here as a placeholder.
Okay.
So like, let's say 150?
Is it the audio?
That's as good as anything. That's as good as anything.
Is the voting system fine, or is it the audio and the video, or the voting wrong?
Voting system breaks.
The break.
The buttons break, the thing.
And you can't always hear.
Now, they're working right now, but.
And my priority would be that when people at home watch it, they can see what's going on. When the citizen came in with his USB and he wanted to explain, this is 2024, we couldn't let the man throw his image up on the screen.
So let's use 150 as a placeholder and anything else.
All right, why don't we see if IT can get specs from
That was.
David?
Yeah, that's fine.
We could bid it, but in actual.
Yeah, we can do that. I'm just using placeholder for now.
That could have been.
Let's do that.
Through August, we can bid it.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take that.
I'll make some calls.
Yeah, when we put that in the capital project fund.
Oh, that's a good place, because we need to burn it out.
Well, not burn that, but.
But, I mean,
Can
it's
we put it in the capital project fund?
Somebody come up and will you?
You recall, I wanted to get this first, you told me that.
Terry, do we want to add some training
For
for commissioners?
Okay.
my training, my process.
I've heard arguments both directions on this. I'm agnostic on it. Do we want to put travel in the travel budget?
No.
Yes,
Alright.
training.
You go
Yes.
for that.
I mean, y'all both the way.
Everybody votes on it. All in favor of travel budget. 1, 2, 3, 4. All against? 3, 4. We're on the rule. So there you go.
And it's not.
How much do you want? That's a good question.
You got.
Don wanted $75,000.
You get $500 a month, that's staying.
All right, 500.
Oh, yeah.
Well, some of us get more education than others.
That's true.
And I'll tell you, like I've told Mr. High.
You train it for the money. Who you train, Don? I know she is.
Well, there's 24 of us.
Train, Don?
500 each.
I'm gonna use your money, Mr. High.
I don't go to school.
One thing to consider is that if
There needs to be
they
10
have
in there.
a bill in the state legislature, that, because we are required, if you were elected in 2018, you're required 8 hours of
And then training.
And if you finish that training every year, the county will be responsible for paying each commissioner $600 per year for finishing that. So I say 10 grand.
When did I get
goes
that?
in that. I don't know.
We don't know if it passed.
It's still in the thing, but if it passes, then you've got to pass.
It used to have 10 in there.
We have training that's required for planning commission as well.
We'll go back to
Yes, and for board is
That
under
sounds
review.
reasonable.
We'll go back to this, go back to
Planning.
this.
That's reading the planning budget.
We don't.
I made you a smarter commissioner now.
We don't have to pay for the training, but we have to take the time.
All right, okay, so are we good with this
That's not
one?
even 500, you offered us 500 these minutes.
No, we said 10,000. We said, I said everybody was gonna be 10,000.
This bird goes to 10,000.
Everybody's gonna be 10,000.
No. We went to what it used to be,
Entire commission.
Our commission.
Yeah, I believe it used to
Can I
have
have yours,
10,000.
Jeremy?
I don't
Can I have
travel.
yours, Jeremy?
So, all right, so we're good with that, we green that one out, let's do, did we do building and codes? Yes.
Yes.
Registered.
County
Let's
attorney,
do, I'm just going back, let's do registered deeds.
county attorney's next to me.
Oh, okay, I'm doing it.
And you already adjusted the salaries on that one.
All right, let's just get on his operation. We are close to it.
So much.
Hold on, let me look over here.
What page are we on? Anybody got a page?
We cut a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it is.
That's small numbers. Scroll.
How we do county attorney yesterday?
35?
Well done.
Thank you.
That's where he's gonna get rid of the admin.
Remember, we talked about that yesterday.
Those things are not.
Yeah.
Green this one.
We do,
I wanna look at
Law
it.
directors.
we do EMS and, sheriff.
I'm just going down the list here. I thought we were trying to do EMS and sheriff big, I thought we were trying to do get some of the smaller ones off the way first.
I was wanting to do sheriff at least before Terry left, since she worked on that salary.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. You want to do, because you're leaving, let's do sheriff. You got some problems.
Finish with county.
Yep, just like that.
We'll do sheriff. So, so here's the thing with your, department, so they got some raise last year. I'd like to just go down and do a spot check on the, or do a mark check on, from the bottom up, control, jail, and then supervisor level. And just set a seal on that one. The jail, I feel like when we looked at this, control was actually, was a little over, but jail was right in there.
Patrol officer, they have it 58,822 for the median for
Where
the,
we at?
back to 2020.
I'm sorry.
So, okay, scroll down.
825, and that would be 2023.
825.
And so, so here's, so these are the deputies here, scroll down a little bit, so you're 60, so some of them, so you're between 62 and 72, hold on, what's,
Is 58.
what number are you, what page are you on?
Page 1, it has patrol officer, deputy.
58.
What is top line and bottom line?
Well, the bottom for like the median for the, say, years through 10 was 58,822, and then the top end median was 75,837 back in 2023.
So we're, I mean, they're
Close.
COLA, they're
So, their highest deputies are, I think I saw 75 in there. And let's see how long they've been there. 70,
71.
72, 72, and that person's been there for 12 years. So, that's, it should, control. I mean, honestly, but some,
Deputies, but like here we have line 62 and line 63. What's the difference between those two deputies?
Once the nurses, 04, 72.
And one's not even started. So we just raised it, we just raised it.
so they're all about that.
I mean, they're pretty close.
Yeah.
So are you giving a basic position $12,000 raise?
Yeah, I don't.
Am I looking at that right?
So in COLA, they're all at market.
Do you know why that's, Eric said he can answer the 12 if you want to raise your hand.
Because we budgeted it at step 10, now if someone comes in down with 10 years of experience, we can pay them for 10 years of experience.
Okay,
So you're gonna come with 7, they'll go to step 7. They come with 5, they'll go to step 9.
That was when they requested it, when they were approved.
The one that's getting $8,500 already at 60 and a half.
Well, he's at 53, and that's, 69, so that's gonna be that one plus.
Yeah, Eric, did you say a lot of these large raises, or these raises bigger,
Yeah, he just got.
were for prior service that you guys were trying to keep?
No, I'm just, if we're looking at all the problems to be fair and looking at market, I mean, right now, even the pre-COLA, these are at the market. This is pre-COLA. I'm just,
Coming from another agency.
if we're just being, we're looking, if we're doing the same thing for every,
No, I agree
every
with you,
department.
I mean, it's like, I mean, stuff is a range, it's kind of like what we were talking about with, Mr. Isbell's assistant, right? I mean, you could remove some of this, and you'd be in market, but you could leave it, and you'd be at the higher end of the market. It's not like they're way, way out.
Yeah, I'm not talking about removing the COLA, because that's, you said we were doing.
Be getting 12,000, and they just came on board in 24.
Well, that would
So
be,
that one's going to be the breakdown.
so, yes, and then when you see those, it's gonna be because someone with 20 years of experience has come from Gallup, and out to us, and started at step 1 when we did the step scale.
So maybe you with us, but they already know.
Correct, so we, in this one, put them at the correct step based on their tenure and experience.
So you're asking basically if you had four levels for deputies, and a deputy 4 would have 20 years of experience, you're asking for room for this to be a deputy 4 in case they show up. But if a deputy 1 shows up, you're able, so you're not going to give you a less of a position that could be harder.
You gotta get them, or you won't get it.
So I think.
I have a thought on this. Can we scroll down to, I'm trying to follow this. This is a large department, we could be here forever trying to micromanage this. I've got a thought.
Like 3 days?
Yeah,
You want-
good. So, let me give a thought on this. So we start with COLA, reading COLA, COLA's not going away. Can we look at the subtotal here? So, this requested 260,000. I would like to, you know, what we're trying to say here, and you guys already had a good bump. I would like to maybe just give a haircut on that across the board, and then let the sheriff's department say, okay, so if we cut that from 260 to 160, cut $100,000 off of it, or some amount. What's that? Oh, yeah, well, we can talk about the new position, right? But I'm saying we can give we can just say, hey, look, we're gonna give you X amount, you figure out how to distribute how you want to do that, as opposed to going line by line by line.
I mean, I'm fine with that, but I wanna say, you put, Deputy Craddock and Mr. Long and I through 3 days of work, and now we're just gonna go, nah. So next time, let's don't do that.
Well, I mean, look, that's a fair point.
I agree.
Fair
I mean,
point.
that was what it was.
So, I mean, or we
did like several weeks before that.
I mean, we
here's the thing, or we can do,
how many hours, but if that's what we're gonna
if
do.
we wanna do it, I mean, we'll need to, I'm good either
What was
way.
your suggestion? I don't understand what you guys are
Do
talking
you wanna pull this out and
No,
have it
no,
on the whole day?
I'm just pointing
I
out,
can tell you-
we shouldn't have done that if we wanted to do it.
Unless Eric tells me different, I can kind of tell you part of the confusion going on right now. Okay, if you look at the patrol officers, or any of them, between each step, there's a 2% step. So if you're giving them 5 and they do a step, they're ending up with 7. So if you give them 3 and they do a 2-step, they end up with 5. That's part of the confusion. So you want to give them the step and the 5, or do you want to consider the 5 inclusive of the step and make it 3? That's the first question. The next one is something that was mentioned at the meeting. All the people are brought in with only service at the county. So where he's hitting him with those big people, I don't care which one. What Eric's trying to say is like this person, 22, he may have came in with 8 more years of service, so he wants to give prior service. So you guys have to determine, are you willing to fund prior service? That's what Eric's asking about. And then the other big cost factors are you willing to fund these employees? That's the 3 factors. And then there's one more factor, they did not, and nobody in the county did, for administrative or other than patrol, people that make the road, people like the chief deputy, the road officer, your patrol, your jail, or buddy. None of the administrative were put on to step skills or mechanics countywide. That's what he's asking for here, so you got to determine, are you willing to fund that? That may be some clear up part of the confusion, unless I said it wrong, there, that's the big confusion here.
We never intended to make sense, we just wanted to distribute the money to the spots that were under.
Yeah.
To
bring to market. And that's what the goal is.
You're not appreciably above market with the, you're in market either direction. Well, there is a break. We're in market either way. The question is, we're trying to grow relatively slowly.
Slowly? That's not what we should use. Grow slowly.
Because we're not cutting. I mean, you know, we're not
It's not a slow word. I mean, it's a lot of numbers. And I haven't had time since we saw it yesterday.
That's the thing, unless we want to go and do something, where you take this offline and try to hash through this all again, and we would go there.
I'm not looking at that.
So there's almost a $9 million increase in the overall budget ask. So let's put that in perspective versus the entire county, what we're trying to, it's like double what we're trying to do for the entire
No,
county.
the majority of it, I mean, this is,
So
right
where we're gonna start backing out.
You could start with this one on Tuesday.
Where did,
Give you time to look at it.
Tuesday, we're not meeting Tuesday.
Thursday.
Thursday the 16th.
That's
2 weeks from now.
Sorry. But if you did this on Thursday, 16th, it would give you quite a while to look at these.
well, before we can do that, but can we analyze where the bulk of the money, because we're
I
having.
mean, it's a $9 million increase.
Well, no, where's that all coming from? Like, it's not all this.
Some of it is the new security for the courthouse and the new jailers for the courthouse is a big one. So if you go down, he's asked for several security officers for the new, right here. That's a big bottom of that new courthouse, they keep it a gift that keeps giving. You
Well,
don't see
we
you.
have, but I mean, and here, you know, I think here, but we have, did we fill these?
Yeah, last year.
Did we fill all these up here?
No, we're currently sitting around 30 vacancies. How many? 30, but I can't, if they were full, I can't pull 5 people from the current jail. There are standards and staffing levels that I have to have in,
But you don't even have.
But we don't have bodies.
we're paying an exorbitant amount of overtime right now.
He's
And it's
transferring
coming
over.
out.
Well, so can we, what we do is, can we like bump these guys up so that they're, can we change something about, take 5 of the ones that are not filled and shift them such that they would be able to afford it, so that we're not adding a net new of 5?
And it was corrections last time that we found that was under monitoring.
Oh, I know,
I mean, and I'm more than happy to show.
I'm not disagreeing with jail speed, I'm just talking about the numbers.
Yeah.
I think what he's saying, Matt, is that on the TCI standards, when TCI comes in and inspects their jail, they may not be full, they've got people working overtime, but he's showing TCI that we have how many ever, of this many spots and we just can't fill them. If you no longer can't say you've got this many spots, you can't fill them.
I got it, so you
He's got to show that he has them available.
you have a certain number that you are attempting to fill.
Well, they may decertify the
Well,
jail.
how about we actually get them filled?
Yeah.
We can't find them.
No, we can't take care of the pay,
If they're under.
Literally last weekend, a guy who was probably the nicest guy we ever had, is gonna get promoted, he's announced today, goes to lock a guy down, says nothing other than it's time to lock down, and goes to shut the door and he spit in the face. He can't do anything. No one wants to do that for 23.59. No one. So I can feel those, but it's gonna take this. That's the legal, that's the.
No, I don't think anybody's arguing with the pay. I think what the question, I didn't realize that you had to have that many number of slots in order to remain certified.
So it looks like those are coming up to market based on this, is what I'm looking at.
Those right there, what do you got on?
The corrections, I'm talking about corrections, page 1.
Page 1.
Jail corrections officer. So that is looking right in.
Yeah, the jail, the corrections.
So let's start there.
So let's just start with one category.
We're starting there.
At jail.
Yeah, so what does that total look like of the increase we
We're
have
on page
for
1.
all of them?
Just keep going down back to the total for the jail.
Page 1.
52,860.
424,879 addition to cost of living plus benefits. So that's just your cost of living is about
The majority of that is those new positions.
Yes.
The majority of that is right here.
So I think this other line's probably 1% because they have 1%
So you-
chance of it.
So I know we want to go through this one first, and I'm good, but there's a connection here. So you're also asking, if you go up to patrol, we're also asking for, positions specific for the courthouse. So what I would like to do, if these guys down there are cheaper, is keep the jail folks, give them all 5 of that, but cut some of what we're asking for here.
So are these courthouse, if they're in the courthouse jail?
No, other than the courthouse.
Courthouse.
And I'm sorry,
These are the courthouse jail, courthouse corrections officers. They're the only people who are in the courthouse.
And the correctional officers are the,
That's the jail.
These are for the cells at the bottom of the new courthouse. So they're working in the courthouse, all of that.
What, I think we should fund all of these. The question, I think we can potentially set some up at the top.
and then,
We need some.
how many do you have at the courthouse now? I know you got some last year. How many, because I know that Judge McCormick, I mean, we've talked 3 or 4 times about the security of the courthouse and how she does it. Well, how Murfreesboro does theirs, it's not secure, and how many, and I'm sorry, it's in my head, pounding. So, how many personnel do you have at the courthouse? I mean, we haven't opened yet, so, we haven't heard.
Currently in court security, we have 18. 99% sure that number is
18 in the courthouse.
18 employees in court security.
Does that count the jail?
That is current people.
Is that gonna be at the front door doing security?
And originally, we thought we were gonna be able to reduce the amount of people on the front door because we were going from 3 separate courthouses to 1. Well, we're not. There's not 3 separate lines for people to come into the courthouse, so all 3 of those have gained more.
They did ask your opinion when they designed that, right?
No, but I'll tell you that each of these steps, Rutherford County runs 36 courts.
And you're looking at 18?
Right. We're looking at 18 plus 7, and then we're up to the 5.
And they run 36 as their total, that's their deal and their other?
I'm sorry, 2 concepts.
I know, it's okay. Their 36 is both their security and their jail management at Rutherford.
They don't do jail management like this.
They don't have a jail underneath?
They do have a holding facility.
Well,
They
they
have
do.
certified deputies, which will cost more.
I understand now. I finally got it. How are we getting away with 25 and they got 36? And I understand our courthouse a little bit bigger than theirs.
Yeah, maybe the Rutherford courthouse does.
Fantastic. Everybody that's here, you got the business on hand.
I understand, so how, I don't see you not coming, Rutherford's cutting corners, from what I understand. From what the judges tell me, Rutherford's cutting corners on security, or they were.
Well, I won't speak for everything.
I know, I was gonna say that. How do you know you got enough at 25? They got 32?
Well, now that the courthouse is mainly constructed and we can walk through and put our eyes on it and know where we're going to assign people and where people need to be, we think this is a good number.
So, right, try to add positions, that's what it sounds like you're trying to do. That's what I'm hearing you say.
No, I think that we're gonna hear them once the courthouse opens. We're gonna hear them say they need another dozen people. That's why I'm wondering about the money now, because I think they're gonna need another dozen people, because if it takes 36 in Rutherford County, and they don't need to speak to it, but I was told they need more.
Have they got their other floor open in Rutherford? Because they have another floor
I'm not sure.
beside
They also do
That might make
Rutherford
it
County that we're going to not do.
They're gonna.
We have an
they're gonna
unfinished
need
floor.
more.
We have an unfinished unoccupied floor, I don't know if they do or not.
We can't fund their entire budget, they're asking.
I know, but I'm
Where are
just,
you gonna cut, Terry?
well, I'm just saying, before we go giving out all these raises, if we're gonna need these additional positions, I'm just making you aware that.
I get that, but what I was gonna argue is the fact that you have a problem.
The priority is bringing the
We're
market.
gonna have to have the courthouse.
I don't wanna lose them.
Priority is bringing the market. I mean, that's.
And I ask, I mean, everybody's answering the same way. So
We do
if you had to choose between reducing some of the new roles and keeping your raises, or, reduce some of the raises and having get some new roles, which would you choose? I don't think we can split it here.
So Eric, let me ask you a question. Right now, we've got the bowling alley, the juvenile thing. Is there one courtroom there? 2 at adult probation, and then we've got the jail that's got 3 courtrooms. And we've got the old courthouse that has, how many courtrooms? Good, 3, 6, 7, 8, and an adult. And that's 18 officers for basically 9 courtrooms? It would seem to me like to go to the new courthouse would be less of a load, but it's not, it's more.
So we're manning 3 entrances now, we're going to man 3 entrances in the new courthouse.
Right. We're gonna cut this to 16?
Not consolidated like we initially thought. We're going to isolate all this.
Okay. Okay, 16. And then do you have, what, 1 officer in each courtroom?
It depends on criminal court, general sessions, but yes, minimum of 1 deputy.
Okay, where else do you have officers?
Rovings, assignments downstairs in the holding facility.
Okay.
Transport inmates.
Transport.
You would be amazed at how many people come out and say, hey, can you help me with this? Right?
That's who we ask.
What's the deputy going to do? No, I'm busy. Absolutely not. We have to accommodate for that.
When is the courthouse open?
June 8th.
Here's what I would suggest.
So the courthouse could open and we could still be looking at what actually physically happens.
What I'm saying here is that, and I'm just being real, we got like $5 to $7 million extra to play with. Like, unless we want to like be on a path to raise taxes, like, maybe not this year, but next year, this is gonna blow the budget out. I mean, David, am I off?
We're gonna have to find some cuts somewhere.
So it just is what it is, and maybe we need more time with it.
Can I ask you,
So then this will maybe need to give you guys time to
this
look at it.
includes the new judge that they wanna add?
Yes.
Maybe Terry, we'll get it.
The top two.
The criminal court, that is, line two.
So here's what I suggest, let's do this, we're gonna punt this one to the 16th, reschedule that, gives everybody a chance to review this, come back with some ideas.
I'd like to see the courthouse open to see if the plan works before, I mean, I'm not ready to put a stamp on this. I mean, we got time, we don't have to stamp this thing until August. I don't wanna wait till August, but I'd like to see how that courthouse is working before we
Well,
stamp this.
I get that, but we do need to at least.
I think we work it.
We need to have it working, so we're gonna punt this to the 16th, and that gives us a couple weeks to look through this and come back with what, we think we can do. I got a little bit of a head start on you guys, I think I know where we can do, but y'all, we need some more time, so let's punt this to the 16th. All right.
I hate to bring up another point, but I was contacted by the director of schools, and he says to meet the timelines and to get the budget back to you guys, he does need some revenue numbers as soon as possible. He does want to make you aware that he is taking a lot of pressure from the same wage and hour ruling that you've got, and there's a maternity leave ruling for males that hit them really hard, and they were hit on their teacher because they tried to raise the teachers' raises earlier, is what he told me. Actually cost them a little bit of money.
Well, here's the
They need some guys to work on
I'm
that
just
budget.
being like, I mean, look, this is where we all gotta be honest with each other. Do we wanna go to the public with the tax increase?
No.
No,
Okay.
not happening.
So, could we afford it potentially this year? Maybe, but we would spend off all of the excess that we had from our, debt service, and we would begin to start dipping into reserves. And so that means that we would set up ourselves or the next commission for a tax increase in the future. It would absolutely put in, I'm not talking like 5 years down the path. Now, again, I'm not saying like we have to always be where we're at, but I'm talking 2-3 years if we don't figure this out. So, the way we got a single pot, and we've got a $9 million ask from the sheriff's department, we've got several $1 million ask from the EMS, and we've got $8 million that is currently, 10 that's currently going over from the schools. And if we spend all of that, well, we're going to be on a path. So we're going to have to it's very difficult for me to give Scott a perfect answer on this until we figure this out.
Do they have what they need over there when he calls them? Are they dipping into their technology $7 million?
How about maintenance effort, how do you work with that?
I did not ask for that kind of detail.
Well, we did that last year, and that's maintenance of effort plus 9. The question is, this year, are we maintenance of effort
Well,
plus 10?
That's my point.
Yeah.
What we said we were
We're gonna go
try to
maintenance
figure all
effort,
this
but we
out,
wanna go plus 10.
but now we've punted it. And just, what we need to say is, look, we're trying to figure out how to open this courthouse. I'm happy to call Mr. Williams and myself and say, look, after doing these numbers, we're trying to, I don't mean to say it this way, but the schools in the new courthouse are directly competing with each other. Unless we want to raise taxes.
And EMS.
So, and EMS, they're all.
Emergency services and education.
So it just is what it is.
Yeah, you might want to call him.
I'll get a call. I don't have an answer to that. So.
Do they have any more in reserve? I mean, I think when we pulled out the bleacher money out of the reserve, I think
They have some.
there's a lot more still sitting.
They have
Over $100 million.
But I mean,
there's the bleachers that they don't have.
they're going to be,
No, but
their
that's
question will be are they pulling out
Paper.
their surplus in their reserve? If they're
Well,
still under
if
their
there's
surplus,
surplus sitting over there and I need a court deputy,
that's right.
Their
I
surplus
agree.
has gotta go.
If they're still under their surplus, there is zero reason not to give that to the county employees.
well, not
If-
give, I mean.
But if they're
certainly we need-
dipping into their reserve, it's a little different, because then they're still at that negative burn rate, because one is recurring, one is not. I'm thinking if they're surplus, if they are still under surplus revenue, which means that they are making money every year, then we shouldn't be any, we
No,
should
but-
be under.
Well, we're giving them $9 million more this year than they were
And that's what I was just gonna ask, is that's still available to us, right?
Well, we're giving them $9 million this year from last year that they didn't ask for, because it's just, it's a bonus.
It's in the formula.
So the question is, so I just need to know what their burn looks like. I mean,
We're talking about for next
You know,
year.
I think that if I wasn't sitting here and I was a citizen at home, I'd ask you what their needs are to get the kids educated, not what they wanted to spend or how much I can give you to
I mean,
spend.
let's get real here. This is what I'm, like, you know what's up?
Oh, yeah.
There're gonna be 500 people in there who told that,
We're redshirt.
you know, that we hate children. I mean, it's just the truth, and this one I can be real testy about it, because it's the truth. And I'm not even blaming them, because they're looking out for their department. What I'm saying is that it's just math. If we don't want to raise the tax levy, we're gonna have to figure out how to balance between, is it nothing more for the schools, is it all over here, is it five more, I don't know.
Our priority is the county at this point, because the schools has increased every year, back-to-back tax increases.
2 years ago, 25%.
So, and then they got basically drained the county, and the state gave them $31 million more this past year than ever before as well. So, but what we've told people is our prioritization is bringing county departments back up to where we felt they neglected. So in my opinion, that's what I've told people, and that's not what this is. It's priority over county departments. County general.
I'm not gonna lie, look, I would like to be able to give them something more. I really would. I mean, I just.
Not saying we can't, but we need to make, like, we can't give that number until we figure it out.
I agree.
Yeah.
We're not, I agree with you. I agree with you.
And again, the number, what do they, it's their need, what do they need? I mean, why do they need the number before they know how much they need?
I gotta tell you, with only 2,000 more students in 10 years, I'm having a really hard time rationalizing the kind of raises they've gotten in the past. Not the teacher raises, but the entire school district.
Well, the majority.
$43.5 million the year before last.
To be honest though, they're having the same problem with their custodial staff, et cetera, that we are, right? I mean.
Well, that's the problem, they've not brought their classified employees up at the same rate. So if we're talking about if we have any money that's gonna come out of that local sales tax, that needs to go to our classified employees first, in my opinion.
That's the frustration, because a lot of these employees, I've met with the mechanics and maintenance in the sheriff's department, and I'm not saying they said this, but you can read when you talk to them, and I'm not here to blame the previous commissions, I don't blame one to take it from there, but you've watched Liberty Creek being built, you've watched the big courthouse being built, and the frustrations is why, I mean, yeah, we needed a new school, maybe we needed a new courthouse, did we need it to that level of extravagance?
No. Well, I get it, I agree with you.
And the frustration is, you know, let's take care of the people first. So to me, that's where I stand, I would rather see us try to take care of the people and then take the goodies, you know, like the extras that we do have in there and maybe scale it
But
back.
our focus is county general.
So let's do this.
I still
Let's
want
get back
to
on
keep the
track here.
courthouse open.
We're
because
funding this.
we shouldn't need
We
more.
can't give, I'll call, hey David, I'll call Mr. Langford. I'm gonna tell him, look, we're funding this. We won't know till the 16th because we gotta work our way through this. And that's just the way it is. Okay. Where is what do you want to pick off?
Your next one would be register deeds if you're going to small.
Two register deeds.
And I'll mark it.
You got phase in.
Yeah, I got all that. Was it the first day? 36. She was toward the beginning, wasn't she?
Top to the page.
She's on page 37. She likes to have this like page number thing over there on there. Index, I think I'm gonna do that next year.
Yeah,
That's bad, but.
Matt, when you talk to Mr. Langford, did you ask him what their long-term plans are? Because I asked Dr. Phillips last year, and he told me that was school board business.
I'll ask him. I want to know.
That's what he did to me too.
All right, I'm gonna ask the burn rate is too. So, and I mean, look, if we know it's gonna be, you know, we know that there's a couple of people who can't do tax rates, who can't do stuff in the schools, and everybody's gonna hate no matter what we do. We're just gonna make the most logical decision.
Well, I
actually on here.
A5.
37.
And it's here on page 3. And if you look, she's toward the middle, and it says that the average median for them, period, no matter how many years, is around somewhere around 50,440 for their employees. And their chief deputy is somewhere around 81,328, but that's about a year ago, so that's a year ago now. Page number 3.
A3.
Page number 3 is where they're,
So, so it's looking like, I guess they're asking that.
A5.
A5? Like the deputy register is at that 50, 51 mark, right?
Where's Holly?
She's 128. 628.
that is the minimum.
Look at it
minimum
fully
salary.
loaded. The deputy clerk, is that the same thing as the deputy register? Or is that?
Yeah, that's all these deputy registers, except for the 79, and she would start somewhere above 81.
But the other ones are looking like they're at market with that, I guess, the total amount she got.
Pretty close.
She just, I mean, even if they're still close to COLA, but.
Yeah, they have one, but if you look at from 1993, so you expect her to be somewhere up. I think it said 93. Let's say 93, but can you say that? Yeah.
Glad you did these fully loaded costs. That tells us so much.
I don't think we're gonna be able to cut enough even to, what we start out saying we needed to cut 7 million just to make it into our
I don't
budget.
think we need to 7, I think we need
What did we say yesterday at the beginning?
David, when we cut the salary, we also cut all of the
What are we
FICA
at
and all
right
that
now?
stuff.
Social Security, Medicare, retirement.
All that dropped.
I mean, we gotta have.
Everything but health and dental insurance.
Let's go there. Let's see where we're at now. Hey, drum roll.
We've eliminated.
We're gonna see how much we're over right now.
But we have not taken it. We've given everybody the 5 or 12.
Mr. Long, can you tell us what that number means?
That means that the difference between your revenue and expenditures are $7 million more than last year. But if we go back to that letter, to kind of show you history, we kind of see how that compares you out to history.
But this doesn't take into consideration the 5 million recurring.
No.
So this 7
That 5 million more.
recurring that we're gonna pull from that service.
Now let's,
So that's really more like 2.5.
well, let's look at the context.
How are we gonna make this work?
You may want to look at the context of the 4 million right there. If you take out the budget and look on page number 7, it shows you for the last, since 2010 to 22, 13 years. And you look at the first column that says 2010.
Mm-hmm.
That is your actual unassigned fund balance, which is totally non-restricted in any form. And that minus number is how much of difference between revenue and expenditures in the following year. So if you looked at 3, 4, has been pretty consistent, 3, 4, so that could potentially go up a little bit because where the amounts made up from is from 2 things. One is we do conservative revenue estimates, so we generally bring in extra revenues, and that may not always happen. But number 2, by law, nobody can spend all of their budget. So if you've got a $114 million budget here, and everybody spends 97%, you're gonna have over, $3 million right there. So you gotta kind of take the $4 million right here into kind of context too. That is the difference between revenue and expenditure, and then kind of look at our pattern. Even with that variance, we're bringing in extra money because the economy's still been running pretty decent and had a pretty good amount of.
Have we moved the money to capital yet that we were talking about? Can we do that?
Yeah, we can just do a flat movement, and I can readjust the actual details.
Yeah, and that would be helpful so we know how much. I think we got about 2.5 million we got to use on the budget.
So how much would you want to move over here from there? 5. Okay, go up to property tax, and we're just gonna put a flat 5, and I'll do the distribution stuff later.
Can we do that before we move any further?
Go over to revenues, go right there, and then just put plus 5 million, and then make it blue, well, no, what to fix later. Okay. And then, look down, see what our difference is, then we'll go over to capital and do the same, and then take 10 million out of debt service. That'll put you to about 2.3 million. And then let's go over to capital and add 5 million into the same revenue and minus 10 million out of debt.
Which will make it, because we started with about.
Let me think about this. We moved 5 million over there, and we have 10 million reoccurring. You actually want to shrink the existing balance too, because that's very large. So you want to move $15 million over here in capital.
Can be capital. 5 of that recurring, 5 from.
And then 10 one time.
10 one time.
Yeah, that way you'll shrink that fund balance.
That allows us next year to have 5 to play with to continue to give.
So we're moving 10 total to capital.
Yeah, 10 to capital, 5 to,
General fund.
that way it'll make it 5, that's why we call it.
5 from debt services, 5 from the unassigned fund balance, we're going to move those to capital.
So basically, you'll move 5 million over to the general fund from debt service, 10 million over to capital, so you're gonna have $15 million worth of revenue.
Right, where that's coming from.
Right.
Clarifying the buckets.
Are there rules on capital funds? Can we get it out again, or do we have to follow rules?
It has to be spent on capital
It
projects.
has to be capital.
Has to be a capital
If we
project.
need a school, can we get it from, we can get it from there too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get about any
You do
capital.
anything you want to, it's not maintenance of everything.
Non-operational.
Which is
Why we're doing it this way.
Now go over debt service and shrink that revenue by $10 million, Bethany, on the, by 10, that's like 15.
How long can we leave it in capital fund? Is there any limit?
No. You only did it indefinitely.
Well, then why were we even concerned about what was in debt services?
Because we're trying to max out debt service. And debt service,
I mean, we said we were worried it's too high, we're gonna get,
yeah, because
dang,
you got
we could
10.
always move it.
Yeah, that's right, we want to move that 10 million over, but. so
But we
that's-
don't wanna move too much in
We
case,
don't want to move.
we gotta,
You don't want to move it all into recurring because that gets your maintenance of effort. We want to do $5 million. I think we'll do probably 4.5, 5 million this year, and then we'll need a little bit
for
for that.
maintenance of effort room.
Yeah, so moving to the general fund with all these things, that's all maintenance
Recurring.
of effort. Recurring. Instead, we put it in the capital over time. And so then we have 5 million to play with next year to do this again.
Well, let's go back and look at debt service. Let's go back and look at debt service really quickly.
This won't be as big of a percent next year, so
We'll play catch up.
Go over and look at your
we'll get 2
As long as
million.
debt
the
service
economy
schedule.
rises out.
How much debt do we actually have for the county coming up next year? Which one's the county debt? General? To general, we go down to the total, going down towards interest and principal, keep going
And while
down.
you're on this, we got
Go back up.
citizens that watch this, could you tell them how much money we owe principal and interest?
Well, just
Because everybody asks me all the time.
I'll tell them
Could you just like do that for everybody?
Did we need to get back to actually get through?
Can you find out how much that number is? And, that number is not there. So we have 5.6 million actually counted. Okay.
Because we're not counting resources.
Resources.
It's
Take it back.
Right.
Okay, just go across the amounts here real quick. Our actual total as of June 30, 2024, our total principal is $258,275,000. That's the principal. The one now. The interest is $64,058,951. And the total is
$322,300,000 a month.
You gotta remember, 13 million of that's coming back from the resource authority. That's 13 that we basically contributed for.
So let's continue to mush here.
We hope it does.
All right, so have we closed
I
out,
hope if it doesn't.
so we closed out, did we close out registered needs?
I don't know that we did.
I think we figured we could get
There's
started.
not much, so I don't think there's much to change. It wouldn't make that much of a difference anyway, right?
No, it's
Their overall budget for registered deeds is actually decreased.
Yeah, so,
Entire
I
budget.
mean, so let's green that one. Now with the trustee.
Let's see what the chief deputy trustee thinks.
I mean, the long and short of this is we got $2 million to find, maybe 2.5. We're gonna have to find part of it.
Yeah, I don't.
Sheriff, EMS, and pilot. I mean, that's where the bulk of this is gonna come.
Can we do it a day? I'm not.
The 16 you project that?
I'm talking about,
Yeah,
you can do
usually all it's not.
do our.
16th there.
Sorry,
And the 17th.
I'm going down this.
I think so. I'd like to buy. What did you say, trustee?
No, archives, sorry.
Oh my goodness, archives, okay.
I'm going down this way.
I was just renting, I mean, coming back.
43. I'll offer to you.
Yes. That's what I thought.
I know that y'all are gonna say this is off topic, but I think it's a significant issue. In archives, in the past, I listened to your budget hearing last year, we actually had a department that actually wanted money to clean out their stuff in archives. In the back of the archives, we have a legal issue. We have court documents back there. I asked the working master if he moved out of the old courthouse. We have documents out there that need to be more secure. People can break in during the day. We have unsecured court documents in there of minors and court cases and stuff that really needed to be put in a secure place as soon as possible. And if we don't have moving money somewhere or somebody taking responsibility, it needs to go.
You know, $2,500 moving money. Let's not talk about stuff like right.
Well, hang on a second. John, the court documents in the back of the archives building, is that something you were gonna have the maintenance guys do with inmates? Or,
We really haven't discussed that.
okay,
I think right now, the focus is getting all of the stuff out of the old courthouse, and from juvenile, all of that there, and we'll talk about this all this archive stuff.
okay.
So it's in the back,
Yeah.
and
I know what you're talking about.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's just, there's nothing on the radar screen.
And Bonnie was even saying she doesn't have cameras back there, and, yeah.
So it's unsecured. I mean, it's locked, but there's really.
It's a garage door.
It's,
Yeah.
you know, it's as secured as what they're putting on the 4th floor in the new.
I think it has to be like chain link fence, because it walk around like chain link. and go.
Well, some of it, but some of it's
Yeah,
just along the wall.
just as soon as we could.
I know everything
So,
yet.
It were, you know, the.
Some of them have lockers.
I mean, we could build money into moving and if we
But,
don't.
yeah, a budget to move that would be good.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking for. I'm
because
asking for money to move that.
Yeah, I think we're running out of bandwidth on our maintenance guys. They're pretty busy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking for right now, is money to move. So Matt was saying, do you have money to move that, or how much do you need to move that? We wanna move that.
I don't know. I can look at that and come
You
back
tell
on
us on
the
the
16th.
16th,
Yeah,
so we can get those,
I can get you a number on the
those
16th.
court files secure,
Where's my at?
I don't know.
not here.
We do need to mention this one thing. This is we're calling it director, but there's only one direct person that answers, and this office only works 8 to 4:30, so I really doubt there's any overtime. So, back to the same discussion, if we're considering them an exempt department head, they're gonna have to make 58,656. The easiest thing to do on this one is to turn them into an hourly person, because I really doubt they're working overtime.
I'm sure you're right.
Bonnie,
Oh, okay.
we need to, let me repeat that, Matt. Under the wage and hour, this is a department head with one department, an 8 to 4:30 operation. So I really doubt they're working a lot of overtime. So the question being is, do you want to move them to that 58,656, or do you want to have those as hourly employees? And basically, she just tracks her hours. Her track her hours.
Hours.
We change her to an hourly employee over here in Kronos and track her hours.
So how does that affect your pay?
None at all. We just leave her where she's at and track her hourly work.
It doesn't, well, that's not gonna mess with benefits or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
The only
If we leave her exempt, we're
Don't
gonna
do
move her
that,
back up.
it's an $8,000 raise.
Have her track, yeah.
More than that, she's getting a $13,000 raise.
She's already got some, so, all right.
So if we budget an amount to move those court documents, really the court should be paying for it, not archives.
Who do you think pays for the
Well,
court?
no, we wouldn't put it in archives. We would put it in the courthouse and jail maintenance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or, I thought you were talking about
county building.
No, I know it's all the same here.
All right, so are we good with our,
Yeah. I think they're saving more than they're spending on.
yeah, I hate to be on anything, they were never,
Yeah.
What page
$69 a month.
So, yeah.
$750 a
You
year.
made a note about the thing.
Oh, you already put it in?
Okay, so are we good with this one?
Yeah.
Let's green this one.
Oh, yeah.
So we green on it now, we're on
Hey,
the.
Matt.
Well, you got one page in there twice.
I put a note on the side about the phone, the new phone system. Oh, shit, I'm sorry. Okay. What is it?
So now we're good with.
I've been to page over.
Yeah, trustee, sorry, on that. Or I guess we did assessor, then we'll do trustee.
So which was it, what do you want?
Assessor. I'm sorry.
45.
I'm looking at.
45, good question.
John, you'll say it or me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, assessor of property, remember we were gonna come back and wait, taxes for
No, we're not. We didn't do it for planning.
He never requested, I
We
believe.
didn't get it, I don't know if we got an answer. Did you get an answer for that? We got an answer. Well, so until we do, I mean, well, first, let's just do our normal thing. We don't know, let's do a market check.
Oh, I can tell you what something I want to cut in there instead of meeting is $80,000 for the trucks.
Yeah, I agree.
That's good, pull that out.
Trucks.
That's good, start there.
Trucks.
So I would like to, I'm not disagreeing with cutting the trucks. I'd like to look at our fleet for the county.
Yeah, David's.
We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, but we might like switch them out something better than driving everywhere. You know, we can work on that. General law.
Let's go to salary, salary,
The vehicles.
can we get, so property assessor, clerk's line.
Sorry, I haven't done that. You're better than me.
I'm looking at.
Market's 45.
What page is that?
Market's 45.
Yep,
What
so
page?
they're already,
What page?
How you guys, some of these guys are.
Oh, there it is, yeah.
Some of
Page
these
3.
guys immediately.
okay.
So I think you need to go to the senior ones.
There's no identification for it.
What pages?
Page 3, but there's no, all we have is the median.
Yeah,
I just got 18 years, we just got solid.
That means they don't provide anything except for total median.
So they're.
That means it's what everybody, no matter how many years, makes on
We're
average.
seeing real appraisers, so you're talking about the clerks are at 45, I mean, they're above, I mean, they're there with, I mean, we gotta be fair, they're there with COLA,
Yes.
with the exception of this person, who probably needs that. They're there with COLA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would maybe, cut that one like $500, and the rest of them, it looks to me like they go away. We're saying we're doing market, it goes both directions.
Yep, I agree.
Yep.
Put that yesterday.
Does anybody
They're
understand?
still above market a bit.
Correct.
Does anybody understand the $15,000 bump in postage?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta send it out.
Just.
That's how they freak out,
That thing you got that everybody wants to know for?
Yeah, okay, that was, okay.
the freak out.
Do you guys have to pay for things around here? You have to pay for all that money?
Like,
She better do it right now.
okay.
I don't think there's an office at Reading.
Let's see. Deputy clerk.
And then we got that's just part-time.
Scroll down a little bit. So the only thing that bothers me about this, and will you ask him to check on this? The only thing that bothers me, is he labeling all of these as just clerks? Does he have any?
Yeah, he has appraisers and real appraisers.
They're down there.
Are we getting this right, Mayor? I mean, it is your department in the past. Are we reading these right?
And y'all have the market numbers.
No, I mean, Matt's question was, are all those positions the same that with Deputy 1?
No, they're not all the same.
Well, what I want.
Are they appraisers is what he's
Are any
asking.
of those appraisers?
Which ones are appraisers? What they're
That I don't know, I've never seen it all labeled that way.
Because that's appraiser is different, let's make a note to ask him.
See, well, here's your field man.
Field men will be appraised.
Those are your appraisers.
Okay, so these guys are actually look like they're winging the market.
So we're looking at them for the,
We talked about
real property appraisal?
You get your,
Yes.
so the real property appraiser, and you get your personal property appraiser for your commercial, I guess.
So,
Right?
That's commercial and residential.
Your personal, yeah, they handle most of the personal.
You may wanna look at the years of tenure on some of those too, cause they've got one from there since 1996, the GIS person has. But these
Should we
are,
come back tomorrow?
do this tomorrow.
I could do another day. I got an 8 o'clock appointment.
I could, work,
I bet it's so nice.
Huh?
I could do another day, but work on
Madison.
Yeah, but I should have time.
so these steel men all, appraisers, so they're okay, and one of the 40, so these guys at 56 are above market.
Yeah.
It looks like. These guys are 44, but they're brand new, they're a little below market, but I kind of understand that, I mean, that's actually.
Well, you look at 56, they've been there since 2007. So you got longevity with that one.
To be honest, with the exception of this person, they're at market with COLA maybe a little bit low. I don't know that we would want to get rid of all this, but I think we want to reduce it a little bit.
Okay.
Do we want to maybe just divide those by in half, each of them? Probably the simplest way to do it. I think if we divide them, so like this one will become 2,000.
This times 0.5.
Yeah, just multiply by 0.5 and all. I think that gets us, they're still a little bit above market, but I understand the longevity of it, so.
Can I ask, 911, what do we pay them? They have a GIS, right? Is it different?
Yeah, it's more like.
In my head, GIS is.
It's like
Oh, they're more like an IP position, I think.
Yep, this is more, mapping.
Who else maps? Did somebody else map?
Not that I'm aware of.
No,
No, all the mapping's done through the assessor's office.
just the assessor.
Then you have the
We
E901,
do base mapping.
Okay.
and E901 stuff, but yeah.
Let's,
have a
so we already did their capital, we already,
Have a
is there anything else we need to do in capital, or,
Oh, he has a,
So, just to make a note, we're gonna come back and
It's on the
check
vehicle.
statute.
yeah, he's got a note there.
yeah, he has stuff in capital, and some vehicles.
They are.
We removed the vehicle.
We removed it, the vehicles.
Oh,
I asked you,
Yeah, we removed the vehicle.
did they get moved?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that it?
I'll just
I
ask.
thought you guys asked me if there was anything in capital.
I asked, yeah, I already
What
did.
page was it?
Now you said.
Maybe instead of him giving that truck to the sheriff's
You took a
office.
capital page.
Listen, we'll get it up.
We gotta have a moment of relief here, come on.
What's happening? What is she doing?
I wanna give him truck
Can you have the
to the
phone?
assessor's office instead of the sheriff's office. Never mind, I
You
just
mean a
think.
Bearcat? The stretcher might need it.
Bulletproof, right?
That's true.
They pull up on that and they'll face your property.
You might need to make that his personal vehicle.
So that makes sense, because they just did a lot. I mean, honestly, this looks reasonable.
You just looking at their operating budget?
Yeah. And, I mean, some of these increases, especially on like printing materials and stuff like that.
Gasoline.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
it's what it is.
What is,
Alright, are we good agreeing this one? I think we're agreeing this one. Let's go.
why do they have 4,000 on furniture and pictures? Is that, I'm sorry, I just
I was asking about the 4,000 for the
Yeah, where's the 4,000?
The chairs.
Yeah, they needed, to get some new furniture, some new chairs. Yeah, they haven't replaced any of that forever.
Somebody mentioned chairs was a hand.
All right, let's do trustee.
What page are we trusting?
46, I got the page.
She's already got it. Just hours are on the board. He's got the rear string. He did what recording.
Take it out of Don's copy.
Yeah, you can have my portion of the track.
Thank you, Don. I'm taking these
Well,
out.
the deputy clerk trustee, she's deputy,
Right there, the same thing.
yeah, so they're a little under, but we need, I mean, we're gonna give them all this.
Deputy trustee, is that Cindy's position?
No, deputy is her chief deputy.
Okay, so where's she on here?
Third trustee.
I mean, I'm saying, is Cindy's at 89?
No, 128. Cindy's 128.
Yeah.
128. I'm looking on
No,
that
Sarah's
page.
not on that page.
Because that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that this is reading that this line, that she's deputy trustee is Cindy.
No, they're there.
And I understand, but where's Cindy then, if that's the case?
You gotta think a lot of those, a lot of those have a lot more longevity than 14 of those, chief deputies.
I mean,
Those are pretty well in line, I think.
honestly, these are pretty close. I would probably, they're a couple of them are a little high, but you know, October 06, December 09.
So let's talk about her new position, she's bringing on line 17. And this is the same thing. It's vacant.
They haven't been, that's probably why they bumped it way up. They haven't been filling, right?
Well, the thing is, it's the same, it's exactly the same situation as what we talked about. We're providing, we're funding a position. We're actually funding a new position, or a step 2, or a step 3, or a step 4. What is the commit, I mean, what does she need in her org chart? Does she need a new employee? Does she need a higher position? We're not really good.
Probably somebody works in the
It
front.
gets it in line with the others.
If she says that's what she needs, that's what Mr. Hyden was just speaking about, like, it's a big bump, if it's all her, what's probably
It
happening,
in line with the other salaries.
and what's probably happening is they haven't been able to fill it, because who here wants to work for $30,000?
I mean, what were they doing on there?
So,
I'm good to go.
yeah, all right, let's rock and roll. I think we're good here.
If there's no question on trustee, we're keeping it as is?
Oh, I don't know.
I think my trustee.
Oh, trustee, we didn't get to look at trustee operations.
On page 3, middle of the page.
We're going to it now.
Where are we on?
Oh, yeah,
I see.
So we're giving them a weapon that he was there, so you can see. Yeah.
That's what he just did.
that guy, they got a process. Can we add that?
She wants to start more, or you already?
No, it's already in there.
I don't, man, that's way up.
Yeah, it's
What are you talking about?
$25,000 and stuff.
Part of it's to do when they changed to the state system, they picked up $20,000. Remember you guys did a mid-year appropriation because they picked up some stuff from the state.
Oh, I remember that now.
What is it?
It was to do with the, when they drop the data to the state has to do stuff to get it back into the billing system. Whereas we were on the old, system, we switched to the state system, there's a fee for that, the other one didn't.
Is it an ongoing fee or a one-time fee?
It's every year fee.
So we're like, the state's doing something for us.
They take the data and they make it fit their specifications and they charge for it. I understand, yeah, they charge the assessor and the trustee, because she didn't know about it, and that's why she came back last month, was it 18,000? I'm not sure. get up and I'll ask her.
All the day.
Went up. I know it went up 32, it, 18's that one, I don't know.
I don't know. What are we talking about? What are we?
We're talking about dialects.
Got a processing of what?
On county trustee,
Okay.
page 46.
So she's saying 18?
It's up 32 grand
7 more on the county.
from 25, it's 25 to 50.
I'll go there and ask her. She's like, I'm thinking about rubber. I could call on the cell phone.
You may call her and ask her what it is?
That's not.
Yeah, one of them.
That's what we said.
Good Lord, I got all the controls.
It's not like, we can smell it right here, being down in Christian.
Yeah, somebody burns popcorn.
Our tax dollars.
Hey, I'm down here at budget and they're asking about your data processing services. And I know it went up 18,000 for the state thing, you got from the assessor, and then 7,000 man has got noted here for the reappraisal. What's the other, 7,000 for? That's where you go.
Ego's going up.
Smaller, because it's up 32,000, that's what they're asking. It went from 25 to 57.
That's right off the
Replace that, but he goes over there. There's 7 more that's going to save him.
Yeah, kind of.
Dissipating.
Yeah, but I mean, it's reappraised, it ends up on a number of that much, you know what I'm saying? It's based on a number of parcels.
We go ahead and let
We
them
go
go
some.
on here. So we'll listen to those and we can.
Hey, Matt, she said the 18,000 from the state's based on the number of parcels, so it's gonna go up. The 7,000's for reappraisal, and then also EGov, her vendors said they're going up, but haven't told her the amount, so they put in 7 as an estimate. All right, thank you, Sandy.
All right.
Appreciate it. Nope, I think that's it.
All right.
You guys is, we'll give you a bad, already bye.
Yeah, I don't know that there's anything to do.
All right, sir, give these, reports.
Page 47.
All right.
Page 47.
109.
I think that's what's on right here.
Right now,
See you,
48,
and this is paid year old.
48.
looks like their start pay, there's like, they got a court clerk 1 and a court clerk 2.
So, they're a little, above. They are slightly above.
Okay.
The court clerk 1,
Circuit court.
court clerk 1, I mean, it looks to me, and I know they're kind of all over the place. I think those need to be, I mean, they're close. I think if you drop them by about $1,000 each, it's all be all right. Yeah, but even then, they're still above. Yeah, I mean, we were looking back a little bit, so it's okay to be a bit above it.
So where's that?
They're still to be above this, slightly.
Page 3.
Yeah, I think we bought.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Page 16 and 49, which
Drop
is
each
group up on page 3.
make, all these, drop each to $1,000. Kind of a little more than that.
Court clerk, I thought we were, sorry.
And they'll still be above, court.
okay, so it's now.
We're doing. But it's so, we're looking, so,
That big little court, it just has court.
and those are, yeah. Now, the court clerks 2, so some of the. Oh, no, well, yeah, okay, I was just talking about 4.1. Sorry. Sorry, yeah, I was just talking about 4.1.
Yeah, it's 41,000.
Yeah.
Should be.
Yeah.
4.2 is 48.
4.2 are the ones that some of these need to actually go up.
They're getting something, they're getting a little challenge.
Yeah, I mean, most of them are in a good spot. A couple of them look like they might be. I mean, I guess that one's there. She's some in here, she's some there.
That's okay.
All right, so. Twos are probably about right. You could do the twos, like, let's do 1,000 to 2,000. So do the 4.2 to 2,000. So 1,000 to 2,000. There's going to be a little bit of a haircut, but there'll still be a little close quantity. Right at maybe a little above. So that's a deputy clerk. And they're, I mean, that's good leadership, whoever that is, he said. I don't know, I'm not taking it. The closest thing I see to it is chief one and team 2,000. So
That's like your chief deputies, there's usually one of those per.
yeah. So yeah, the chief deputy. No, that's about right. That's about right. Supervisor, general sessions. That's about right. I don't have an exact. Don't have an exact. Probably about right. Closest thing to that's like admin. That doesn't look right to me. I don't know that we have much that's under 40,000 anymore. I would probably leave that alone.
What about those supervisor positions?
The supervisors, we were kind of right on, so there's two different types. The deputy, we're below, I think we're at 79, they're at 82, but it's close enough. Then they have these other supervisor positions that are 72. I can't find an exact cross. So I said just leave that one alone. So, yeah, there's not an exact thing here. Alrighty. And then asking for a new one, I mean, do we need? Did we get an answer to what they need that new one?
She said because the new judge has to have a clerk dedicated to him, and she couldn't give up one out of her office because they got full duties already.
Oh, I need to feel that. All right. That's fine.
Is what I'm saying.
Okay. Operating costs.
Let me ask you, I couldn't see it, the new deputy, the new employee make the same as then?
No.
So how's that? I mean, you're gonna bring somebody in?
No, the newer employees.
Line 43 is more than some of the other stuff that.
Yeah, you're right. So let's pull that down to like 40,000. Good eye. Unless, well, I mean, you could argue if they're going to try to find if they want the legal reputation, they're going to find somebody who's more.
So this is a part two?
Yes, so 46 is probably.
The others are part twos, and they.
Some of them are 47.
And they've been there a while, so I wouldn't pay this new person.
Yeah, but what if they find somebody with a lot of tenure?
Then maybe, you know what? If we gave them as big as those two, if they could go find the best employee in the world, maybe they could go find a $200,000 employee. I mean, you know.
I agree.
It's what the contribution that they're making to the court.
That's what he said.
What? The how come?
Build it, build it.
But I have.
Oh, yeah.
Operational, yeah.
I'm still thinking about that. How can a new building for 400
I think that was
square foot be cheaper than the renovation of a 4,000 square?
I think they pulled those out earlier.
Yeah, pull those out, flat out, go away, scroll down. So I think that's.
So I was wondering what.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what he said in the meeting. We had a phone call with the guy.
We're gonna bring this one. All right. Circuit court's good. Three. I feel like this one's probably pretty on the money.
I think that we should look.
I was gonna say, can we just look at general one?
Yeah, she said that he pays his people more.
Can we just look at one and cross-reference and make sure we're internally.
Let's compare mine.
So, they're at 70, and 51, what's she at? 60 and 61. So, I mean, they're she's just paying him more equally. He's got, added together, it's the same.
Now, if these the ones that, no, his was in recovery, the one about the grant and the other, and you're talking them back and forth.
So, I mean, I feel like.
So this is, Judge Flynn.
Look at that.
It's
It's good to be a judge.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at them together, 121, the others will be 121, close to 122. She just distributes it. And that's her choice to make. So,
They share the same responsibility.
Are they pretty close?
I mean,
Is their time different though? Is their time so quite a bit different?
There's
96 to,
Yeah,
1996 is quite a bit of difference between those other ones.
I don't know, that's true.
This is what they
Only
asked for.
9 years.
Well, 9 years, quite a bit of pay difference, yeah.
Yeah,
But that's what
but
they asked
long
for,
time.
and they're
well, I mean, this kind of makes sense, because Ron's are on the ends, and he's in the middle. I mean,
I think their salaries kind of matched now.
yeah, I think you're about right.
Because of the timing difference.
I just leave it as it is.
Sounds good.
Well, look at this.
All right. Go. Much operating. I'm good with operating. She didn't have anything big. All right. We agree on that. Awesome. Now we'll move it. Okay. Let's do chancery court.
He did the 6%.
Yeah.
Clerk and master. So they don't have a lot of that really detailed, but they just don't have a paper. So I think it's really good reports.
Put something in periodical.
Yes, sir.
No, do we, I don't know, do we have direct comparison?
No, they just have in their, court clerks, that's what I'm saying, without a paid-for study, then it won't have that kind of detail.
So, I mean.
Kind of the same thing.
But I mean, I would think like, if it's a click one or click two, right? I mean, that's probably.
Same thing, yep. Pretty close.
I actually think they're close, maybe we can reduce some of the, I think they're close even without the COLA. I mean, maybe we don't pull it all out, but I think we can. So, the chief deputy, the other one was like, he's been there a long time, so. Let's pull that one to 5. Yeah. Let's pull that to 5.
Clerk of master. It's just change report, so it's, 0820 on the salary.
The others, I think, what page you can do that one.
He is on page 52.
And the others all go to 1. You're still in there. Somebody, Gary, will you stop checking on that? And what I'm using as a comparison is, clerks, is the upper end of, clerk 2.
So the clerk one should be less than the clerk twos.
Correct. But they all should all be on the upper end, because they've all been there.
Okay, well the first clerk one at 46,689 is one of the newest employees.
And then, you know, we.
Is it a clerk? Yeah, that's above
let's make sure that we're taking everything into consideration. I know
Well, that's
I'm.
what
Yeah.
I'm saying,
If you look at line 13, and you say, okay, they're 81, they've been there for a while, but we also give another 2,100 on top of that. I mean, I'm not saying
Yeah, I
reduce
mean,
it, but I'm saying we already give them more because they've been there.
So actually, you're right about these two, right? Like those two,
Yes.
this one, like I would pull that 1,000 off there, like that's, on line 16, yeah, like why is that?
This is the same as line 12.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it's one or right or wrong.
But I mean, we're paying this one before, and they've been there a short time.
Yeah. So maybe, that's what I'm saying, maybe,
Well,
maybe they're more redundant.
Maybe that's what I within a line item, so let's just make that,
Doodle it out.
well, like 500. And I hate this.
Well, he's already getting cost of living increase.
On those cars, some mechanics there.
You know, he's gonna be able to move around.
Yeah, I just had like that. Somebody kind of circus.
They can change.
Christmas house.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
So like, sure, before I go far.
anything on, operating?
Got an answer.
I have a conversation. Oh my gosh.
What page is it?
Answer is 52.
She never could answer to
This is Chancery Court. Yeah.
I don't have any.
They're out of